Erica Lorraine Spencer here. This is the P.O.C. pattern of conduct, the ongoing real-time documentation of what is the criminal pattern of conduct of federal stalking in violation of 18 U.S.C. sections 2261A subsection 1 and subsection 2. This is the pattern of conduct underway by a public entity, that is the state of California, that is engaging in federal stalking in concert with the people of the state of California. So this is group conduct. And this is the practicing of what are the criminal elements of monitoring amongst what is the demon possessed. And so this is what is documentation of terrorism as it is underway by a public entity in concert with the people of the state who are in the shoes of the government as this criminal system is in ceaseless operation. And as the state engages in this demented group conduct, this is revealing how the public entity, that is the state of California, that is in the United States of America, how terrorism of an American citizen plays out, what that looks like, how that is facilitated amongst a people, amongst a government, how it is public corruption in plain sight, and not only that, how you formulate policy and how you prosecute that which is demonic conduct, it's demonic activity, but that which is in no way impervious to prosecution in federal court, and being subject to ratification into federal policy. This is the P.O.C. It is 10:37 a.m., approximately 10:35 a.m. You have the same entity stalking by planes and helicopters, fire, police, and ambulance, stalking in the bathroom of the Ovid Family Community Library, and doing so with ongoing knowledge of what I'm doing in that private space. This is the same exact entity that is now creeping in bathroom stalls. So in order to engage in surveillance on behalf of the state. And this is the same bathroom that has directed light inside of it. I am currently at Ovid Family Community Library at 10:38 a.m. on surveillance cameras, standing in front of the entrance where the entity is inside, stalking in the path, and doing so in concert with the minions that are on surveillance camera throughout the entity. Currently a group stalker at the circulation desk with a stroller. She's crossing paths, she's stalking in the path, and that communication device, which is what that demon represents, is stalking in the bathroom in order for them to engage in that ongoing interstate stalking conduct. It's 10:38 a.m. This is P.O.C. and it is January 10th, 2022, and it is Monday. This is the sexual violence of that entity engaging in that obsessive stalking inside of what is a bathroom. This is P.O.C. Alrighty, you got a minion loitering in relevant position in the bathroom, knowing that they're being documented. And what I took pictures of is what are minions that are patrolling. They're all in directed light. And so you're looking at what is the same exact pattern of conduct while I'm outside and they are in directed light. The directed light here is where I'm showing you the light activity, the abnormal light activity, where they are engaging in surveillance and that minion exiting the restroom after engaging in what is, first of all, loitering with knowledge of the fact that her essentially mugshot is going to be taken while she is stalking in a bathroom, showing what the sex offender is. This is the state that's a sex offender. The people of the state are sex offenders, and as you are identifying the hallmarks of a specific environment present, and then that is present in what is referred to as a private space where the government has no business, where the people of the state are engaging in corporate invasion of privacy, engaging in what is surveillance inside of a private space, and you know that by virtue of the impossible light activity present, and they are not, it is also revealing their condition. These are demons stalking in that abnormal light while they are engaging in monitoring with communication devices. And I've already shown you the light activity. I will remind you about the light activity that's inside of that bathroom. You saw the Ontario Police Department engaging in what is federal stalking by entity in the bathroom, and that demon of the Ontario Police Department patrolling around with the minions inside of this venue in what is directed light that is both outside, all around, inside of the venue, and inside of that private space. And that is the government that is entering in. This is the same entity stalking where it is that I sleep. Engaging that ongoing molestation with directed light, that ongoing terrorism with directed light, and that directed light is inside of that bathroom of the Ovid Family Community Library, where the entity enters in to engage in nothing but stalking, and to engage in what is, and stalking by what is, I'm referring to what is group stalking. So this is a demon that enters in with knowledge of what you're doing the entire time. The second that they choose to enter is with ongoing knowledge, all right? You're talking about what is presence in the path, presence for crossing a path, presence while activity is created. This is interstate stalking that is underway inside of what is a private space on behalf of the government, and this is entirely sexually violent and predatory conduct. And this is images that I'm taking while this demon is loitering inside of the bathroom in relevant position, monitoring the whole time. The state amplifying plane activity while I'm showing you the demons in relevant position at the circulation desk. They're all monitoring together, and they're not doing anything other than that. You are talking about what is amplifying audible activity while that demon remains in the bathroom, loitering with knowledge of the fact that her mugshot is going to be taken. And you're talking about what is exiting and what is directed light, loitering and what is directed light. While that demon is in the bathroom remaining, the ongoing pattern of conduct is underway. Okay, and this is what I'm capturing. They're still monitoring while I'm standing outside waiting for that demon to exit the bathroom. It's currently 10:49 a.m. This is P.O.C. This is the sex offender. That is the Ovid Family Community Library. Understand what this venue represents. This venue represents what is the people. It is a state actor. All right, this is affiliated with what is the city of Ontario. So for purposes of classifying the entity as you are prosecuting it, this is a state facilitating venue. This is the conduct of the entity, the people of the state. In other words, it's supposed to be what is your neighborhood library, where you are subject to surveillance and doing it in concert with the government, but under the guise of what is supposed to be normalcy. You would ordinarily think, but for ignorance of everything that is going on around you, that you are in what is a public library where people are doing whatever it is that you do inside of the library, and this is the total absence of that. It is the presence of what is abnormality at its heights, criminal conduct and sexual violence, as you are peeling back the layers that demons operate under and doing it vicariously on behalf of a government that's engaged in surveillance. It's 10:50 a.m. and this is P.O.C. All right, documenting on video at 1:50 p.m. and this is substantial video. You have the venue, the sex offender, that is the Ovid Family Community Library, engaging in P.O.C. Sean Thrasher in relevant position in the Ovid Family Community Library by the study rooms. He's on camera crossing path in a dark blue and green plaid shirt, it's 1:56 p.m. Let me be clear. I'm glad that he's crossing path, engaging and monitoring me while he's doing so. The grounds are filled with directed light. This is surveillance. This is criminal conduct on behalf of the state. And while I am capturing what is substantial video, the fake sun is over the venue while Sean Thrasher, by the admission of the demon-possessed Ontario Police Department, pursuant to what is his act of criminal summoning, while the venue is being documented engaging in that ongoing habit of sexual violence that is engaging in surveillance inside of the private space of the bathroom, which is present inside of that restroom where Sean Thrasher and the rest of the entity know exactly what I'm doing, including as I'm documenting their sex offenses. All right, and then you have what is understanding criminal summoning. While the pattern of conduct is underway, the entity engages in what are acts of not only hostility by demons, but what is an act of obstruction of justice. And it does not matter that those officers engage in placing a smile on their face. It does not change that threat where those police officers are present, changing the subject. All right, talking about something else. In other words, trying to be friendly, which is the ongoing creation of audible activity, by the way, in relevant position, in directed light, under a fake sun that remains over the venue. Not only did I capture it right now in video, this documentation already exists, meaning I can literally pull up, or you can pull up, you can review my video documentation on YouTube. You can review my website, thepatternofconduct.wordpress.com. The state's pattern of keeping the fake sun over me at all times of day at this venue at the Ovid Family Community Library, and then that mutually exclusive, and it's mutually exclusive with regard to what would actually be the sun. It is not remaining both over the roof of the Fontana Lewis Library all day long, and then setting, that is directed light inside of that computer lab, absolutely ridiculous and impossible light activity, remaining for the duration of a day while I remain at that venue. That does not coexist. That is understanding what is stalking with light, and it's entirely demonic. While an entity that is hostile because you are documenting their criminal conduct, which is revealing that they are a sex offender, is then engaging in acts of obstruction of justice, which is what the Sean Thrasher is engaged in a habit of doing. In doing so, let me be clear, that threat to the liberty, this is documentation of what is the criminal act of obstruction of justice, that is criminal summoning. While the fake sun is over you, while you were being molested with directed light, while you were subject to surveillance inside of the private space, while you are exercising your constitutional right to document the government engaging in that sexual violence and terrorism, you have what are the demon possessed, and that's revealing what is a psychopath. Okay, this is the psychopath you heard me encountering last night via Omnitrans, a psychopath hostile because she is documented as a stalker. She's engaging in surveillance with the government and being documented in what is directed light. The state following me all day long over me at that same Fontana Metrolink train station. This is an ongoing continuity of documentation. Hostile because you're being documented. Because while you're engaging in criminal conduct, you are literally out of your mind, thinking that you're going to get away with it, and then engaging in what is acts of hostility and aggression when you are on the wrong side of the law. That's the conduct of a psychopath. That is also showing the malice of the government, because this is coming out of the mouth of the state. That's what omnitrans represents. This is coming from out of the mouth of the state also, while Sean Thrasher engages in a pattern of what is criminal summoning, and the wealth of documentation showing that Sean Thrasher is a criminal. He is a sex offender, and I'm only naming Sean Thrasher because he engages in what is, by use of his position, to engage in obstruction of justice, while he and the third parties present at this venue are engaging in nothing but focus on me, listening to me pull my panties up and down, engaging in patrolling in directed light that's inside of the bathroom. Also, I've shown it inside and outside of the bathroom. You've seen the Ontario Police Department themselves patrolling all around in directed light, showing you that they're demons. That's why they have multiple triple shadows. That's why that demonic environment exists. The demon possessed are engaged in interstate stalking. Okay, and this is speaking to what is terrorism and interstate stalking. All right, and that's why that abnormal light is present. And so I stepped out to show you not only video, but like I said, the documentation already exists. The documentation already exists with regard to what is the pattern of conduct that's underway, while criminal summoning by a venue that's engaging in the P.O.C. is engaged in. Okay, and that is what occurred again today. And so I documented the Ontario Police Department who were present to these officers who are in relevant position, creating audible activity, monitoring on the venue of the internet, monitoring what I'm doing on my phone, and present pursuant to what is the criminal act of summoning, which is criminal summoning, where federal group stalking and monitoring is underway. And that's exactly what is ongoing. And that's why I'm able to step outside and show you what is the fake sun. And this is why that documentation of what is a fake sun it is already published, it's already in existence, and I'm just showing you what is going to be the grounds for what is federal prison. Understand the pattern of conduct by absolute psychopaths. This is the affect of what is, and the revealing of what are the demon possessed. That's a psychopath. Let me be clear. And so the psychopath, the demon possessed, that is hostile, first of all, because you're revealing their condition, which is also irreducible. It's undeniable by the demonic environment that they're in, which you are ordinarily unaware of. You're not even noticing it. I'm just pointing out that which you are surrounded by, and it's entirely abnormal. It's revealing the demons that surround you, but it's not just revealing their condition. It's revealing their criminal activity, which is ongoing surveillance and doing it on behalf of the government. And this is exactly what this is. Ovid Family Community Library is nothing other than headquarters for surveillance. And that surveillance continues inside of what is that library, where I have substantial documentation, which I also published again today, of what is stalking inside of the bathroom. All right. And so you're talking about what is a psychopath that's monitoring me and knows that I'm documenting it, which, by the way, they are in opposition of the law, not me. And even in their alternate universe, the conduct of the psychopath that is both trying to act like they're not stalking and surveilling you and being a sex offender while doing so is then also admitting that they are indeed focused on you while they're engaging in what are very specific allegations, which is revealing what is specific knowledge as to what I'm doing, which you also have specific knowledge as to what is not in violation of the law whatsoever. Also, understand all the many levels, but nonetheless, this is understanding what is criminal summoning. This is the pattern of conduct. All right, and this is what this venue, Sean Thrasher and specifically, but this venue of the Ovid Family Community Library, filled with demons, okay, in a demonic environment, listening to every syllable. That's why Sean Thrasher is crossing path visibly, as he knows very well that I'm documenting the demons and the criminal conduct that he engaged in. He's always engaged in P.O.C. He works at a facilitating venue. He's doing nothing but engaging in surveillance on behalf of the state. In the same way that Omnitrans is nothing but a name of a company, which is a cover for ongoing ceaseless surveillance by government. This is literally what this is breaking down to. You're talking about criminal conduct, doing it under the guise of a company name. Omnitrans is not doing anything but surveilling American citizens with the people of the state, okay? In the same way, this is nothing but a state facilitating venue. That's why the fake sun is over it. That's not the actual sun. That's not even sunlight that would be reaching under the structure of the entrance. And you also know that the state's fake sun is here well before 10 o'clock in the morning, remaining under the same locations, reaching even farther into the depths, while I've also shown you when I'm in an entirely different city. For example, let's pick one, the Upland Public Library. The state was maintaining that central presence, maintaining that light activity inside of that venue. That is not disconnected documentation. It still exists, and it's still relevant to what the state is doing with the fake sun to date, with what Sean Thrasher is engaging in. All of that is pointing to what is a pattern of conduct, and criminal summoning is the pattern of conduct. The visible image that I captured of the Ontario Police Department, they are monitoring with the people of the state who are sitting around in relevant position. They're monitoring together while they are in here engaging in what is targeting. And let me be clear, the methods employed, this is targeting by virtue of just saying, hey, Erica, identifying me by name, approaching me specifically and only me, and then changing the subject, diverting from what is the real cause, which is to communicate a threat. Let me be clear. This is no different than crossing path under the fake sun. It's a communication of a threat by a demon-possessed agency engaging in a pattern of kidnapping while they are stalking and monitoring. It does not change because those demons who also know that they're being documented do so and approach me in the same exact environment with a smile on their face talking about El Pollo Loco and then casually bringing up, oh, we got a call about you recording in the library. And by the way, none of that is illegal conduct. And second of all, like I said, Satan doesn't like it. Because Satan's not going to like that prosecution either. Sean Thrasher's not going to like what's coming for him either. Okay. And this is what the documentation shows. You're dealing with what are psychopaths. Okay. And you're talking about just because the government is engaging in P.O.C., you're going to threaten your way out of, no, I don't think so. You will be going to federal prison. All right. And they're sitting around monitoring with all the minions that are sitting inside of this venue. And as I captured on video, let me bring up something else. Like I pointed out in the video while I was capturing it, and this is why it's kind of a lengthy video, but I was bringing up more than one point. You have the demons of the city of Ontario. You have the demons of the United States Postal Service. They are engaging in the pattern of conduct. They are anticipating my arrival. They are literally looking at what I am looking at on my phone, and that is the timestamps of where the state's fake sun is at this time of day, where I captured an image of the Ontario Police Department, just for purposes of making a very specific illustration. All right, but like I said, the pattern of conduct is exactly what it is for purposes of illustrating and making an even more poignant example of stalking with a fake sun. I do dwindle it down all the way down to the very same hour and minute, because you're talking about what is, or you can even go to time of year. It doesn't matter what you're looking at, because this is not the sun. So holding it to that analysis, look at what the state is doing with its fake sun during this same time of year. Look at what the state is doing with its fake sun at this same time of day when I'm in a totally different county. Okay, the state was keeping its fake sun over me in Los Angeles County, both in Glendora, in Palmdale. Okay, when I'm in Azusa, the state's fake sun remains squarely over my head. It has nothing to do with the time of year, but I do use those illustrations so that you understand what the state of California is doing, which is stalking with light, which is demonic. Okay, and so this threat is posed by both the venue and the Ontario Police Department, who are monitoring together. That's what criminal summoning is. And it is a criminal act of obstruction of justice. It is an unlawful threat to the very liberty and welfare of that targeted individual, all of whom are monitoring together. You're talking about the literal illegitimacy of the government itself that's engaging in criminal conduct, and then taking on the outward form where you don't even have any basis, because what you're doing, documenting or using your phone while you're making a very specific allegation, is not unlawful. I'm not busting through bathroom stalls and trying to catch anybody in the nude. I can use my phone just like those minions use their phone, all right, in the bathroom, okay? While they, on the other hand, we are not the same. They are demons. They are stalking. They are stalking as third parties on behalf of the state. They are in a very specific environment and in abnormal light, revealing that criminal conduct, which is sexually violent. All right. And this is the irony of that psychopath that engages in that. This is speaking to what is the threat posed by what is none other than Sean Thrasher. All right, engaging in criminal conduct today. He's on surveillance camera today, engaging in crossing a path, because that's what he's doing while he's walking in the library in directed light as I enter the venue, and he is monitoring with the United States Postal Service in relevant position at the 280 North Limit Apartments. He's monitoring with the City of Ontario, stalking with light at the entrance of the library, anticipating my walking to that location. Those very specific actors knowing exactly what I was reviewing on the internet, and that's why those same demon-possessed actors who are monitoring the documentation arrived to engage in monitoring me. Understand that. That's what I pointed out in the video, and that's not a coincidence. All right. It's also not a coincidence in what is directed light and under a fake sun. All right. It's currently 2:08 p.m. and that is breaking down all of that, which I captured in substantial video today. But the point of that video captured at 1:50 p.m. is showing what is the maintenance of a fake sun over the venue, while Sean Thrasher engaging in what is criminal summoning. That is criminal activity. That's a criminal act of obstruction of justice, and it is that which is referred to as the impermissible threat, while federal group stalking and monitoring is underway, while you are also being subject to what is the sexual violence by that same actor engaging in criminal summoning. That is what is the grounds for federal prison. Period. The government engaging in kidnapping and threatening your liberty while you are exercising your constitutional rights. The government shall be documented. American citizens shall have the right to do that. And any acts of obstruction to threaten that or to inject yourself or in any way cut off that legal process will be federal in prison. Period. Okay. And let me be clear. The ongoing pattern of conduct is an impermissible threat. So you're understanding what is the necessity of that very almost like a strict liability basis for imprisonment, because you're talking about you're dealing with a government that's surveilling American citizens and engaging in exceedingly violent, all manner of violence and lawlessness. You're talking about theft, you're talking about kidnapping, you're talking about sexual violence, you're talking about what is harassment, everything that this government is engaged in through the people, all right, and through what is law enforcement, who today are here pursuant to what is, understand this. The Ontario Police Department are already monitoring. Okay, they are stalking and monitoring right now. You're talking about the Cooperative Criminal Act by Sean Thrasher at a facilitating venue to provide what is no form. There is no form, but this is how the demons, this is how this demonic system, this criminal act of surveillance operates. So you're engaging in summoning law enforcement with whom you are already engaging in surveillance, knowledge of the fact that you are being documented. That's what these demons are engaging in, obstruction of justice, while the pattern of conduct is underway. That's why I step outside and capture the fake sun over Sean Thrasher's venue. Okay. Like I said, the Ontario Police Department citing, this is an admission, while they are standing around monitoring what I'm doing on the internet, and stating that they were only here because Sean Thrasher sent them an email, which I saw with my own eyes. Erica Spencer is recording in the library. She's not recording in the bathroom yet, but I just wanted to let you know. And this is hours later, which is out of the mouth of these Ontario police officers who are monitoring me and communicating a threat. The P.O.C. is underway. All right. And that's not an ordinary call. And also there is no basis to summon the police, even absent the pattern of conduct, by the way. You're talking about what is an intent to engage in, what is an act of kidnapping, an act of harassment, an act of showing of hostility, while also it is formed for coming close to me while they're monitoring what I was doing on my phone, which was dealing with my podcast. Okay. As soon as I make what was a very different move using my podcast, I'm not going to elaborate on that. As I do that, Ontario police approach, and they don't approach anybody else. They come and approach me. All right. And let me be clear. These psychopaths that are monitoring the documentation can also engage in saying hi to everybody else in the library and then approaching me. It does not change. You're dealing with the demon possessed. You're dealing with psychopaths who are stalkers. This is why directed light, by the way, is shooting inside of the vehicle where I sleep. This is why the state is maintaining amplified audible activity everywhere that I am going. This is why the fake sun is over me, regardless of what city, regardless of what county. All right, it does not change. This is the exact same entity, and that's why you have multiple shadows inside of the bathroom while they're patrolling in and out. That is irreducible evidence. While you are engaged, and I don't even have to capture the fake sun. That in and of itself, understand that. Okay, that's P.O.C. You're a sex offender, and then you're engaging in criminal summoning. But even more than that, I have a wealth of documentation of what is not the sun remaining over directed light, filling this venue, an ongoing sexual molestation and ongoing surveillance and molestation inside of the private space. So you are indeed a sex offender, then engaging in criminally summoning the entity with whom you are monitoring. That is a psychopath. Okay, it is currently 2:12 p.m. This is P.O.C. I also want to document the names of those Ontario police officers. I understand they're acting as an entity representing the entity, and that is the entity acting directly via the Ontario Police Department. This is also the communication of a threat while the pattern of conduct is underway, and doing so in concert with the people of the state with whom the Ontario Police Department are monitoring. And this is Officer Galban, Galban, and this is the same officer present in relevant position on December 27th, 2021, with the officer who I capture on video. This is a demon. This is a female. She's pacing around in directed light, which I reminded you of on my website today. I republished that to remind you about what the Ovid Family Community Library is, which is a sex offender. What it's doing, it is surveilling and monitoring American citizens, and then is showing how it is obtuse to the exercise of your constitutional rights to enforce the fact that you have a right to not be subject to surveillance by the government, by them, in concert and on behalf of the government, and not to be subject to sexually violent surveillance conduct at your venue where you are. And it is Officer Corey Walton, who was also present pursuant to criminal summoning at the Starbucks located at 507 North Euclid Avenue, and with Officer Guerrero, which I also documented on podcast, while that venue, keeping the fake sun over that venue for the duration of the day, as I showed you, from morning until late afternoon. It would remain on Euclid Avenue, and then be over the parking lot as I would walk to that venue, and I would remain for the duration of the day. All right. And this is totally separate and impossible to coexist with ever being over the 280 North Lemon Apartments. This is the state's engagement in a grand departure from remaining over that or anywhere relative to that location, because I was staying at the Starbucks all day as opposed to staying at the Ovid Family Community Library all day. And this is this is the African-American officer, and he already knew my name. All right. He did not have to ask me my name. I actually did not give him my name, declined to give my name. He filled out what was some information with my name on it, and did so while I was speaking with what was Officer Guerrero, who I have encountered before. But like, I'm just pointing that out because even if I had told him even if I had told him my name, let me finish that thought. Even if I had told him my name, as though in this psychopath asked me, "What's your name? What's your birth date?" You're dealing with what is an environment revealing specific knowledge of who I am. They're stalking and surveilling. You're dealing with what is an entirely illegitimate entity engaging in criminal summoning with the people of the state who are hostile to being revealed as the criminals that they are. Starbucks is nothing but a venue where ongoing surveillance of American citizens is underway. That's why I was able to capture that documentation at that venue. And it's not just the one at 507 North Euclid, 706 West Holt. The Starbucks at Vineyard and Holt Boulevard, directed light while the demon-possessed are pacing in and out of that venue. All right, that's not a coincidence. It's called state surveillance. It's a violation of Title 18, Section 2261A, subsections 1 and 2. But like I said, this is the officer that I encountered, and his name is Corey Walton, officer number 80548. Okay, it is currently 2:16 p.m. I just wanted to include that information, and that will be uploaded to my website as well. This is P.O.C. Alrighty, capturing what is relevant positioning and activity creation, the entity stalking in the path and doing so in the private space. It's 2:33 p.m. at the same venue, speaking to what is criminal summoning and then federal stalking by an entity in the private space with knowledge of the fact that you are documenting it. This is going to what is federal prison, and that pattern of conduct is underway. P.O.C. Alrighty, 2:37 p.m. on surveillance cameras, you'll see entering and exiting through the bathroom just to the hand dryer, which is a demon creating noise in the bathroom. With knowledge that I'm in here, they're engaging in the elements of monitoring. They're doing so in directed light. That's the intentional creation of activity inside of the private space while also monitoring the documentation. That is literally the demonic conduct of a sex offender, okay? They're engaging in interstate stalking, and they're also engaging in coming in to create that activity and to enter into what is relevant positioning. All three elements remain underway, okay? I just want to document that, and it's also on surveillance cameras. It's 2:37 p.m. So let me sample for you what just happened. I've shown you the directed light. It's published, reminding you. This demon walks in the bathroom while I'm still in the bathroom stall, listens to me in the bathroom, and listening to me pull my panties up and down, listen to me flush the toilet and all that, walks in, uses the hand dryer and runs out. That's on surveillance camera. That's a creation of the elements in order to engage in ongoing interstate stalking on behalf of the government. That is the sex offender and the stalker, all right? And a demon. These are demons doing that. It's 2:38 p.m. P.O.C. Hello. All right, capturing what is relevant positioning by the city of Ontario, who's stalking and engaging in bathroom monitoring. This is the significance of a demon running in, using the hand dryer and running back out. That's not only relevant positioning. Understand what's present, directed light. You've got the ongoing elements in City of Ontario in relevant position in directed light, what I show you as I walk through the venue. They're all in directed light. You're not engaging in anything but stalking and surveillance, and you're doing it under the identity of the municipality, the City of Ontario, who's a sex offender, monitoring them while my panties are down while demons are stalking inside of that bathroom. And that's what I took an image of, the City of Ontario engaging in the conduct of a sex offender. Alrighty, in relevant position, engaging in that surveillance together with the people of the state. It's 2:41 p.m. All right, let me point something out to you and remind you of something. This is documentation of an entity. So as I'm pointing out what is the sex offender, that is the City of Ontario, who is present engaging in bathroom monitoring, the totality of the entity is engaging in surveillance in the bathroom, okay? I am pointing out what are the different methods of presence on behalf of the government, as I'm pointing out the minions that are doing nothing but surveilling and stalking in the path with the state inside of the state facilitating venue. All right, the minions that work here, who are identified as state actors inside of the state facilitating venue, the minions who are present here as some sort of vendor, if you will, doing or providing some sort of service, like the minions of the United States Postal Service. This is all forms of presence. It's all group stalking and surveillance, and their sex offenders monitoring together. Okay, so that's what the significance of this is. What I'm pointing out. This is ongoing group surveillance inside of a bathroom. I'm revealing what is the state of California, a sex offender. All right. And as I'm showing what is a sex offender with direct light in the bathroom, the people of the state are a sex offender, an unprecedented one. Okay. And that's revealed by that abnormal light activity because you're engaged in surveillance in there. Okay. That is the conduct of a sex offender. Would you like your child and it doesn't your child to be subject to what is some weirdo listening to them and watching them and following them into the bathroom? No, you would not. And it doesn't matter if you're an adult. It makes it equally perverted and predatory and entirely weird. This is what the government is doing. And the government's doing it through all methods of different forms. The city of Ontario is a form of presence on behalf of the state. All right. That's what I'm pointing out. And so I would be remiss if I did not point that out. Remember, you're talking about what are different methods of form. This is the government stalking via the people. And this is the government engaging in the conduct of the sex offender while then engaging in what is criminal summoning, revealing a psychopath. That's a psychopath. All right. That is engaging in what is an ongoing, you're literally operating outside of the galaxy because you do not want to accept the fact of your demise. I'm going to prosecute you, and I'm also going to show you to be a violent sex offending psychopath because you don't want to accept the fact. Okay, you're going to be documented, period. Everything you do is going to be relevant to that prosecution, all the ways in which you're prosecuting. And criminal summoning, that's federal prison. Okay, 2:44 p.m. P.O.C. All right, capturing what is surveillance. Literally, these minions are congregated around, spread out in the library, and they're just maintaining presence in directed light, okay? And they are doing so while they're stalking with noise. So these are demons that are paying attention to me while they are keeping their eyes on some other object as though they are not, which is unpersuasive in directed light. In addition to that, you have what is the ongoing stalking conduct, which is what demons do. Stalking with audible noise and engineered light. That's the demonic formula. And further, you have what is them maintaining congregated presence in directed light while they are all monitoring on my phone. And by monitoring, what I mean is engaging in obstructing my ability to access my Google Drive accounts. All right. And so this is what I mean by terrorism. These are demons that surround you, looking every other way as though it is a figment of your imagination, if you will. That's something you can liken it to, like you're imagining everything. But for documentation, understand that. This is, first of all, out of the pit of hell. This is conjured up. This is satanic, okay? These are psychopaths who surround. They are stalking you while they're looking the other way. And everything about the environment reveals that. And then also what they are literally doing on the phone, obstructing the ability to access my documentation while they are engaging in presence. And so I captured images of what is surveillance. And these minions are spread around in the library, sitting on the floor, standing behind the bookcases, and sitting around me at the desk area where the state is also amplifying sirens, which is audible activity. So I just want to document that. That's the significance of the images. This is what they're doing at all times. But I'm documenting this in my podcast because that's exactly what I just got through doing. Getting around what is an ongoing effort of monitoring on my phone these pathetic minions, these demon-possessed stalkers, engaging in what is interstate stalking as I am documenting, and in doing so because they are engaged in an ongoing deliberate effort to try to obstruct justice. And it is entirely pathetic. This is the same sex offender stalking me in the bathroom, chasing into the bathroom while they are in direct light. Literally demons running around and doing that same weird conduct while they are chasing you into the bathroom. This is what they're doing where I'm sleeping. This is what they're doing at every public place, as my documentation shows. And then those psychopath sex offending groups stalking criminals in violation of federal law, then they engage in ongoing acts of criminal conduct, such as criminal summoning, while they're engaging in that criminal conduct that they are monitoring, hoping to never be exposed. And that's what's grounds for federal prison, while this psychopath is sexually violating you and engaging in interstate stalking with the government. And then you're engaging in sitting around, stalking in the path, and then engaging in monitoring on the phone, trying to stop access to that documentation that I already have. Okay, this is literally what they're doing. And so I captured images of what is relevant positioning. They're all in directed light. And you see, as you're looking at images, it is entirely pathetic. And you're looking at what are the demon possessed. An ongoing army, if you will. A pathetic one, a defeated one, albeit an army of Satan. Okay, after one who is prosecuting all of them together. All right, so anyway, it's 6:11 p.m. This is P.O.C. at Ovid Family Community Library. Let me be clear. Let me translate for you what that is. This is a facilitating venue. This is a sex offender. This is a demonic environment where criminal conduct is underway. That's what this is. P.O.C. That's AMR stalking. And that's with 711 Woodside Senior Apartments, 325 West G Street, 403 West G Street, 612 North Fern, 630 North Fern, all of Vine Avenue, Country Villas Apartments, the Rite Aid at 222 West G Street, that entire plaza. You're talking about what are the properties that I published onto my website, all of Vine Avenue and G Street, 636 North Vine, which is 711. All of this is in relevant position. American Medical Response is stalking in the path, creating light activity. And that is a demon sitting in a medical response vehicle, sitting around on another dark corner. DRICO 71 monitoring as well, sitting around on a dark corner in relevant position, monitoring what I'm doing on my phone. All right. And then sounding sirens as I upload the podcast that I recorded at 2:12 p.m. as I upload the second one at 2:16 p.m. This is when AMR that's already close right here at the corner of Vine and G Street crosses path in what is directed light, a demon stalking with audible and light activity while they are maintaining relevant position, which is group stalking. Okay. It is currently 6:32 p.m. This is P.O.C. All right, let me document a couple things on my podcast because you have this third-party demon-possessed actor, Tracy Banks, BM84, looks like Z27, that's a paper plate. This is a demon crossing path on Fern Avenue, direct light on the side of the car. This demon, Tracy Banks, is sending me text messages when I'm already sitting in the vehicle at 630 North Fern, and we have already left the Ovid Family Community Library, which is the substance of the text messages that she was sending me. And understand this is a psychopath who was monitoring and surveilling me with the government, but then at the same time texting me as though she's waiting on me, doesn't know where I am, doesn't know what I'm doing, and is waiting impatiently. This is the conduct of a psychopath. All right, and everything that is ongoing, all the circumstances, and that which is known by the entity, which she is a part of. All right. And then you're engaging in what is an implausible and unpersuasive act. All right. Engaging in what is an unspoken system that is nonetheless revealing what is your unbalanced state of mind. And it is relevant to your prosecution and revealing your malice. All right. And this is indicative of the entirety of that entity. I want to be clear. There's text messages between Tracy Banks and I, and she's telling me I sent her a text message at 6:05 p.m. when I'm still at the library, and also my timestamps of my images that I'm capturing these demons inside of the library, engaging in an ongoing effort to try to stop me from accessing my Google Drive. This is how desperate and pathetic this entity is. I mean, it's as desperate and pathetic as paramedics. You're sitting around in a medical, you would think you have something important to do. Don't you have something? But I'm telling you, this is what I'm telling you. This is a con of an existence. This is revealing what the government is doing. All the government is doing is surveilling American citizens. How is this system of surveillance existing? It is existing in plain sight under the guise of what is free and normal society. Everybody just doing what they're going after the American dream, having your own Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. No, this is the guise under which literally the people of the state, which are people, but I've identified them as the people of the state because this is a means of identifying an entity that's acting on behalf of the government. The people are the government where federal group stalking monitoring is underway. And it's under the guise of what's just everyday life. You're going to work, you're going to school, you're going home, you're a stay-at-home, whatever your life circumstances are. And the government is surveilling you. And the government is doing it not only by itself, it's doing it with everyone around. The people of the state, in other words, American citizens, or whatever their legal status is on paper, those living in the United States are monitoring American citizens. This is ongoing state surveillance. The government is surveilling American citizens, period. And so you're talking about anyway, this is what I'm saying. You're sitting around in an emergency medical vehicle, and you are a demon that is listening to my most minute movement. If I take my shoes off, or if I do it too fast or too slowly, they will immediately sound their sirens. They're sitting around in a dark corner waiting for the opportunity like a psychopath stalker. Okay? Everything that is ongoing is serving surveillance. This is not normal society, contrary to what the United States, contrary to what the state of California is presenting. Even government officials, you're talking about the operation of government, what we're about and what we're doing, what we're consumed with, and all these political agendas. Do you understand what I'm telling you about with regard to the state of California stalking with a fake sun? That is slicing in half. It is obliterating the entire notion of what is climate control. Do you not understand that? You need to understand that. It is an implication. Because you're talking about exercising control over the climate where you have an artificial light source that's remaining central over American citizens that you are surveilling. This light is central to that surveillance operation. And it is directly bearing upon the climate, with which you are stating is naturally evolving and having a direct impact on what is nature and animals and the oceans. And no, this is not the case. The government is exercising control over the environment while this demonic system is underway. This is demonic activity. Understand that. This is what this is. It's demonic activity. How are you dragging a light source and keeping it over my head all day? I don't ask me that question. That's not what I am here to explain. But you see the documentation, that is not possibly the sun. That's not the star that we learn about in elementary school, that we study about in chemistry and in science. You do science projects. That's not the star that we are studying, that we are taught about, if you will. It's in direct conflict with like basic fundamentals with regard to what we learn about this stuff. And let me be clear, what we learn about is that which is taught to us by the same government, by the way. Just want to be clear. Let me point that out. Okay. So anyway, like I'm stating, everything is occurring and is existing under the guise of some free society in the United States. And it is not. It is the absolute opposite of that. And that is the form, if you will. It is literally in your face in that form. All right. You're talking about engaging in the pattern of conduct. And this is a demonic obsession. And this is in the state of California in the United States. And those demons do not have anything other more important to do. What they are doing is what they are supposed to be doing, surveilling American citizens. This one that is documenting it. That's the whole purpose of what they are doing. They're doing it under the guise of being medical emergency technicians, paramedics, whatever you want to call them. They're criminals. Okay, because surveilling American citizens in the United States is criminal. All right. It's that which is in direct conflict. It's antithetical to the very founding documents of this country. Right. But understand that's how this ongoing system is existing. All right. It's supposed to be so far beyond what you can fathom and what you would ever question about your government. Why? Because we have these founding documents. That's why I have presented what to you not only answers, but answers to questions that nobody seems to pose. And the fact of what is a light source that's remaining over me, and I am in the state of California, which is on the West Coast in the United States, under what is Pacific Standard Time, and documentation has revealed that which is a matter of record for your own eyes to see, and my podcast as I documented as well. You are talking about what is impossible. There is not the coexistence of a light source remaining over my person, remaining over the physical body of my physical person, over the physical building where I'm inside of, where I remain for however long, or wherever it is that I go within a city or within a county, and that coexisting with there being the actual sun over any other county or state or any other part of the country. That's how exclusive that documentation is. It is impossible. And this is common sense. It's just something that nobody has ever questioned, apparently. And this is also something that is never, especially in California, you need a car everywhere this is a society that's, especially on the West Coast, you need a car, you need a vehicle, and I've never been without one. And so you're talking about what are the circumstances that literally forced me to be able to observe what the abnormality that surrounded me. Okay, it is entirely abnormal. The people are abnormal. And then I'm looking at the environment that is entirely abnormal. But for this economic status that I'm in, which is directly attributed to the state, let me be clear. Like I said, Satan's own conduct leading to its judgment and its own leading to its own revealing. Satan's own conduct, targeting me and doing it. And guess what? Thinking that you're destroying me in the long run, it's actually leading to what is revealing what is entirely demented about a government, a prosecution, in other words. That's what it's leading to. Because if I had not lost everything that I own, if I had not been harassed and targeted on the job, if I had not been threatened by law enforcement, if I had not been led into what is directly going to result from that, a direct impact on your financial status, I can't pay my California bar fees anymore. And then you're talking about what is revealing what the government is doing to me. I don't even care about paying those California bar fees. That's just my own. The state of California is a criminal. The government is a criminal. All right. I have the legal skill set. That's where I'm at now. But that does not mean that the government is not held accountable and the people of the state are not held accountable for what they're criminally and civilly responsible for. All right, based on the conduct that they are engaging in. You are surveilling an American citizen, and then I documented it. And then you engaged in all manner of obstruction of justice trying to conceal what I'm documenting about you. And you continue to engage in. All right. So, like I said, this is the revealing of what is surveillance, and the government in the United States. This government is so audacious to do what is surveillance in your face while giving you the fallacy of free society. That's what the United States is doing. That's how audacious it is. That's what public corruption is as well. It's right in your face, doing it under the guise of what is free society. All right. So I just want to be clear. That's what American Medical Response is doing. This is what the entity is doing, and it is entirely consumed with surveillance. Surveilling one that is revealing what the government is engaging in and has been engaged in for a very long time. I was in college. I graduated from California State University, San Bernardino in 2010. I was subject to surveillance there. A heavy police presence. And I always had a gut instinct that, like in my dorm, in my apartment where I lived on campus, I never let it bother me. I never dwelled on it. It was just something when I would move into a new apartment on campus, every time I moved there, I had a feeling like I need to check the vents, like something is, or someone is like watching me or something. I had this instinct, right? That's discernment. I just did not know what I was discerning. And it was just way in the back of my mind. And I let it go because I had nothing to hold on to it. It was just a feeling that I had every time I would move to a new apartment as well. And I'm being subject to surveillance. I have no idea. I'm going through college. I go to law school. I go across state lines in order to complete my education and return to California. And I'm practicing law, doing property management, and subject to what is this pattern of conduct, which becomes increasingly aggressive. And the more aggressive, the more that pattern of conduct reveals itself, speaking to what is the revealing and hence what is the prosecution, and that is the destruction of what is wicked at its core, but it's criminal for purposes of identifying and prosecuting in the tribunal. Okay. And so, like I said, I went through all of that just to say that it is entirely pathetic. And you're talking about, it is not, first of all, a figment of the American citizen, some targeted individual's imagination that the government is stalking, or however you would term it. All right. This is surveillance by the government. The government is surveilling American citizens, and that strangers are stalking, or however, like an ordinary person is suspecting and is disturbed by, is freaked out by it. All right. And doesn't have the ability to precisely articulate what it is that they're experiencing everywhere that they're going, and they don't even know why. Okay. It's something that's designed at the outset to defame or cause or result in what is the defamation of that target individual that is alleging it, because it's so unheard of, because we're in such a free society, because it's so unfathomable. It's so unlike the United States government. All right. Everybody is so concerned with what they're doing. Nobody has time to be concerned about you. That is what the guise of this entire system is. Understand that. And it is actually the direct opposite, the complete opposite. You could not be more off point. That is all that they are concerned with. The entity is consumed with surveillance. You're talking about the creation of companies for the purpose of criminal conduct on behalf of the state. That criminal conduct is surveillance. And they're engaging in operating a business on behalf of the state to engage in surveillance. That's what I'm showing you with companies such as Amazon Prime and Omnitrans. That's exactly what they're doing. They're going around corner by corner, street by street, following me everywhere that I go. Doing so with airplanes as well. Okay? And doing so while they are under the guise of delivering a package to somebody in relevant position under that fake sun, in directed light, upon amplified audible activity, and while they are contributing to that ongoing environment, creating light activity and or audible activity. That's the creation of what is the engagement in the criminal elements of monitoring, doing so while the state is maintaining a system of surveillance under what is the guise, it's right in your face, some operation of a business. It's the same thing with the people of the state. It's the same thing with the facilitating venues such as the Ovid Family Community Library. And why is it so unheard of? Why is that unjust presupposition of defaming one who is alleging it? Why is that the immediate go-to? Why is that the immediate response? Oh, because it's so unheard of, because it's so unfathomable. It's so unlike what people are assumed to be obsessed with, which is themselves. All right. Consumed with, which is whatever it is going on in their life. Concerned with, which is whatever has to do with their money and their circle, their circumstances. And I want to be clear. What I'm revealing is, first of all, demonic activity. That is the false, guys. That is the distraction. That is the chorus of the demons. Let me tell you that first of all. You know this by what is directed light in an entirely fake environment that surrounds me. This is an entity that is obsessed. This is an entity that is consumed. And that consumption is directly in your face. You are looking at it. They are doing it right in front of your face. And how are they doing it? Not by showing the obsessed stalker that they are, by staring at my face and following around one person at all of them. Oh, no. They're doing it by looking as though they're consumed with something else, that they're doing something else, that they're about something else, that they are engaged in something that is distinct from you, while you are talking about what is doing nothing other than maintaining that ongoing environment, which is surveilling you. And that's how the United States does it. Contrary to what South Korea and Russia does. They're very upfront about the fact that their citizens have no rights, if any rights at all. Or very little, if any at all. Okay? Which, by the way, I respect more than a hypocrite such as what the state of California is doing. You're talking about what is literally a farce. Okay? This is a fallacy. And this is based on the pattern of conduct. You're talking about you're operating a business and your actual focus is surveilling a person. But you are presenting as though you are focused on conducting some business and making a buck. And actually you're not. You're surveilling on behalf of a government. You're engaged in what is a state system operation of surveillance and doing it right in front of your face. Just calling surveillance Amazon Prime, calling surveillance American Medical Response, calling surveillance the Ontario Police Department, because that's what it is. Calling surveillance the Ovid Family Community Library. That's what they're calling it. And it is nothing but state surveillance in concert and on behalf of that entity. And that is why you have what are pathetic demons hiding around on another corner in an emergency medical vehicle. That's why, this is what I'm telling you. You would think that they have something more important to do because that's what they want you to think. They don't. What they are doing is surveillance, and that is what they are intending on doing. That's what they're focused on, and that's what they are supposed to be doing. That's what the focus is. And this is the whole deception of what are demons, okay? I want to be clear. This demon engaging in loitering, V17L21R. This demon is engaging in using what is nothing other than what is identified as a state vehicle, the state acting directly via American Medical Response. And yes, it is pathetic because it's pathetic because you think that you're in the best country in the world, and I'm not even going to get into that because this is not about patriotism. But let me be clear. The whole notion of patriotism is based on that which is a fallacy. Do you understand how when you're revealing what the government is doing, it is literally the breakdown of the whole system? Because everything that you are told by this government is a lie. You can't stand on it. Nothing. So anyway, I'm going to leave that alone because it's not about my lack of patriotism. It's just that I am now confronted with the notion of the whole idea of patriotism is conjured up by some demon-possessed government actor who is feeding into what is a distracting narrative while the government is surveilling American citizens. It's the heights of hypocrisy. That's what I'm thinking of, but I'm not going to go down that line of thinking. I'm just going to leave it alone. With regard to what is the P.O.C, that is American Medical Response, stalking with audible activity. No, they don't have anything more important to do. This is state surveillance, and what they are doing is what their focus is. All right, you were talking about what is state surveillance of identified under what is the name of American Medical Response. And that is why those demons are huddled in a vehicle right next to me in relevant position on Vine, stalking with audible activity and immediately crossing path where they were already close by in order to engage in group stalking visibly in front of my face, creating lights. Facilitating criminal conduct amongst all of the minions that I'm citing. They're all in relevant position. Alrighty, it is 6:53 p.m. And that is P.O.C. What I wanted to speak to is, first of all, my images that I am going to upload to my Google Drive. That is also a timestamp as to where I am present. The reason why I'm referencing this is because you've got Tracy Banks who is engaged in surveillance. Okay, this is what I mean by an unbalanced psychopath. I don't have the patience for it. I don't. You say this government, this entity, these psychopaths, demons, in other words, want to try to force you to operate in their twisted universe, okay, where they formerly were able to engage in acting like they're normal, acting like they're not stalkers. And then they're engaging in that conduct. And this is what you're dealing with when you're talking about, where were you? It's like, I'm not going to operate with you in that twisted universe. You're a psychopath. You are literally a freak of nature, acting like you don't. You're engaged in surveillance, and it is already established. It's a matter of evidence. And so you're talking about what's relevant to a prosecution. And if that's what you want, I will use that as far as what is the threat that you pose to the public and what is your necessity with regard to the ways in which you're prosecuted. Federal prison, a straitjacket, because you're talking about what is defamation by the engagement in the pattern of conduct by the government. And the pattern of conduct is showing what are psychopaths that actually surround, psychopaths who are a threat to the public. Psychopaths who are hoping to never be caught or found out or identified. That's the flip part of it. All right. That's what's so ironic about it. And this is also why you have what are psychopaths so energetic and so determined and so forceful with this ongoing defeated effort to try to defame. This is what I've documented about the state over and over again. This is why the entity engages in kidnapping and then trying to artificially engineer a case for mental incapacity. When you are kidnapping and you're monitoring, you don't even have any legal basis. You don't even have legitimacy to exercise authority under the law because you're a criminal. But like I said, that's where that comes from. Let me be clear. You're dealing with dangerous psychopaths. And the psychopath, the one that is truly without all of their marbles, is the one that's pointing their finger, trying to call the target individual a paranoid schizophrenic, a crazy person, a crazy person. When they are the ones in what is under a fake sun, in directed light, in an absolute cartoon environment. It's like a comic book, but it's real life. These are demons flying and driving and running and keeping around you in an absolutely abnormal environment. Freaks of nature, the cockroaches of humanity, having nothing else to do, absolutely consumed and obsessed, and hoping that you never find out and hoping that no one ever finds out. Okay? That's what that's about. It is pathetic. And when you strip it down, it is entirely pathetic. So anyway, I am at the Ovid Family Community Library as of 6:10 p.m. And so while I am sitting in the vehicle and I'm documenting on my podcast, which you hear, American Medical Response, Crossing Path, I'm sitting at the vehicle and Tracy Banks is sending me a text at 6:29 p.m. talking about, just as you text, I was here, come home. I mean, I don't know, perhaps I'm misreading that. Maybe she is just commenting on a conversation that we had in the car. And this is what I mean with regard to a psychopath. She's acting, well, she's not acting. She's creating audible activity in relevant position. She's engaged in bathroom monitoring. She's using her flashers while I am physically indisposed. And this is a sex offender engaging and monitoring me with every other demon and other strangers. And this is the woman who birthed me. And she's engaging in that sexually violent surveillance with the state, with the government. As I walk out, the state sounding amplified plane activity. Two demons are walking in front of me on surveillance camera. And this demon, Tracy Banks, is in front of the entrance and with her flashers on. And her coming to pick me up from the library is not form. Okay? Whether I called her, whether she was waiting or not, where I am in the private space, you're talking about what is a systematic engagement in the elements. And this is a demon whose name I know, engaging in that ongoing sexual violence and does not hesitate, does not care that she gave birth to me. You're talking about, you're not dealing with normal people, you're dealing with a demon possessed. Violent sex offenders, vicious and relentless with regard to the level of malice. And so we do have a conversation and she's speaking about, oh, she doesn't know where I'm at and she's waiting. And to me, it's like, it's unnerving because I'm dealing with a psychopath who's placing me under surveillance. And then on the other hand, she's also creating audible activity, monitoring me. Okay. While in her form for this creation of audible activities, that she's so frustrated. She doesn't know where I'm at and what are you doing? And I'm waiting so long. And all she's actually monitoring me and she knows exactly where I'm at and she is creating activity while I'm in that private space. Even if I wasn't in the bathroom, understand she's engaged in the P.O.C, like period. And so this is what I mean by you are entirely a psychopath. You are an entire psychopath. Okay. And it is like, it's unfathomable the lack of reality that the demon possessed are operating in. And this is really truly is what is the inability to accept the demise, okay? What you're doing is no longer concealed. It's no longer unspoken. And not only that, you're going to be prosecuted for it. I'm prosecuting you now. 7BIN 302. I'm prosecuting you right now, and you are witnessing it. You are being prosecuted in this public manner for a purpose, for a reason, okay? For multiple reasons. All right. And so, like I said, it is entirely pathetic, but it is absolutely necessary to reveal it. What you're saying and then versus the reality and the circumstances, all that's going to do is go towards your prosecution, because what you're doing and the malice that you are doing it with, the mindset, you want to act like you don't know. Guess what? I'm going to prosecute you like a psychopath that's unbalanced. You're a threat to the public while you're engaging in criminal conduct. And then we're going to listen to your audible activity. You're going to end up in a straitjacket, if not in federal prison for engaging in criminal summoning and engaging in kidnapping and participation in fictitious prosecutions like Tracy Banks. Okay. So like I said, it's 6:59 p.m. And this is text messages that she referenced. And so I'm just stating, maybe she was just giving me another comment on that. But to me, I can also read it as she's texting me at 6:29 p.m. when she has already left the vehicle. I'm already at 630 North Fern, sitting in the car, and American Medical Response is crossing path. And then she's texting me. I don't get that. I know that she's engaging in operation of my phone. This is helping monitoring, but this is way after the fact. And so for that, just for purposes of that, this is why I'm stating, I remain inside of the library of the Ovid Family Community Library, and I exit on surveillance cameras, and the images that I capture of those pathetic actors just sitting around hoping, and just trying with all their might to try to block my ability to access my Google Drive. It's pathetic. And I went around and I captured all those minions, okay? Just minions sitting around in directed light, okay? Just psychopaths. You think they have something else important to do? No, they don't. What they are doing is surveillance. All right? This is state surveillance. This is the government surveilling American citizens, and it is literally in your face. It's public corruption in plain sight, and it is under the audacious form of free society. All right, which is supposed to be the contrast to other countries which we are supposedly so opposite of, such as Russia, all right, or Korea, okay? And I beg to differ. And this is the reality, and that's based on evidence, not on what you want to claim it as or what those of influence are able to sway the majority of. No, this is surveillance, and there is nothing more important on the agenda. This is what they are engaged in. This is what they're focused on. This is what the entity is consumed with, period. All right. It's currently 7:01 p.m. and I am at 630 North Fern. And what I'm speaking to while minions are patrolling and the state is aiming directed light inside of the vehicle. This is the entity just listening to me prosecuted on my podcast, and point more out to you with regard to, not only I want to point out a couple of things. I'm documenting the P.O.C, the demons of the American Medical Response, the state acting directly. My presence upon exit of the Ovid Family Community Library, contrary to what text messages reveal at 6:29 p.m. I have been at 630 North Fern well before 6:29 p.m. Okay, and so I just wanted to put that on record on my podcast. And also, so it's demoralizing and it's also pathetic, but it is also understanding the malice of the system. You're talking about what is the government engaging in, what is surveillance of American citizens, and doing it under the guise of what is actually supposed to be free society. And it is doing it in your face. It's not free society. It's actually the direct opposite of that. Doing it under the guise of free society. Everybody's so consumed with themselves. No. Everybody is engaged in surveillance. Everybody is. Everybody. All right. And that's what, understand, the demon possessed. That's the whole distracting narrative of that. Because you're not just dealing with, when I'm referencing everybody, understand what I'm referencing. This is demonic. This is a demonic operation by a government. And the people of the state that are doing so in concert with the government, this is demonic. These are demons. They are not focused on their Facebook, on their 8 to 5, or whatever it is that they're doing. These demons are engaging in surveillance. And the context is that we are in California. The context is that it's in the United States. But you're talking about what is demonic activity that is very real in everyday life. So in other words, if you're listening to this outside of the United States, this is informative to you as well, because demonic activity is not limited to the jurisdiction of the United States of America. It's not. All right. And it is informative, and it is a tutorial to you as well, because it's only context that I'm in the USA. Understand that. All right. Its context is relevant with regard to how in the USA, oh, we've got laws on the books, regardless of the demon-possessed government that is literally defecating on it, okay, on the Constitution, on those laws. But see, the form with which the government is engaging in this criminal system, that very form, it's actually very real, regardless of the fact that the government actually disregards it to engage in the system. And that is for any American citizen to capitalize on. And also, we also have the ability to create laws. Okay. So anyway, it's currently 7:03 p.m. and this is P.O.C. 7 VVG 232. And it's 7:13 p.m. And Union Pacific as well. Union Pacific is a means of audible activity while I'm walking from the 7-Eleven at 636 North Vine, and while 7 VVG 232 is also crossing path. I'm being molested while I'm walking on on G Street from that 7-Eleven as well. And so I document the group stalker on Fern, who is meeting me at that intersection while I cross the street to get back to the vehicle. And again, that is engaging in the P.O.C. with Union Pacific, creating audible activity. It's 7:16 p.m. It is 9:45 p.m. I just want to document on podcast. First of all, the fire department crossing path that's going out of its way to stalk visibly, while that entity that's engaging in stalking me is also monitoring the documentation that I'm publishing about the fact that that fire department is stalking me. So I did want to document that, but I'm documenting right now what the entity is doing. This is how scared it is. This is how pathetic, and this is how consumed it is. That's why, by the way, the point that I was making earlier, that this is nothing but surveillance by the government, and these are nothing but companies and a government and a people, any company, any establishment, any person. It doesn't matter what they're doing or where they live or what they're working. They're consumed with surveilling me. And I am representing what is the targeted individual, an American citizen who's subject to surveillance by the government, who has been engaging in this criminal system and trying to engage in concealing it, which is also the pattern of conduct. This is how consumed with when you have a body of evidence showing stalking by helicopter, that is also direct evidence of what is the absolute form for surveillance by a government, where companies are doing nothing. Fire departments and law enforcement, they are doing nothing but engaging in what is surveillance, identifying by what is a company name or an agency or a government body engaging in what is surveillance on a corporate basis. And that's why you have the state sounding helicopter activity, while this entity that is obsessed with me, stalking me, monitoring exactly what I'm doing on my phone at 9:37 p.m. and doing so repeatedly because they are scared of what I am doing online. My documentation is already published. This is how petrified Satan is, sounding helicopter activity. So let me break this down for you. In the same way that those demon-possessed stalkers are in an American medical response vehicle in relevant position on a dark street on Vine Avenue, okay? Grown men and women, demon-possessed psychopaths, violent sex offenders in an emergency medical vehicle, having nothing else important to do. Surveillance is what they are doing. Surveillance is their purpose. And doing that while they are in that vehicle, which is supposed to be their form for doing something else. They're not doing anything else. This is a demon in a vehicle of the air, if you will, a helicopter that immediately sounds, and that is the ongoing maintenance of presence. This is an entire psychopath that is hiding around in the sky space in a helicopter at the moment that it's reviewing what I'm looking at on the internet, which is published, just scared of me seeing that it's published. That's how pathetic they are. It is also revealing what is demonic activity. It is also revealing what is nothing other than an obsession and consumption with me, like I have demonstrated in documentation. There is no business going on. There is no life going on. There is no outside existence. The government is engaging in what is surveilling American citizens, doing so, trying to keep that system concealed. Stalking in an obsessive manner in helicopter is showing that you are not doing anything other than that. And it is not a free society. It is the engagement of what is government surveillance under the guise of what is in your face free society. And it's not. It's the absolute opposite. It is nothing other than an audacious presentation of what is state surveillance in plain sight. And that's why you have a helicopter flying right over me the moment that I look at my website, thepatternofconduct.wordpress.com, and repeatedly flying over, desperately trying to slow down my internet because Satan is petrified that I'm going to see what is already published on the internet. Okay? It's pathetic. Stalking like that is pathetic. For a government to do it, it's criminal. And it is revealing what is the obsession and consumption by a people, by any company name, by any use of any logo, by any government body, all right? Any agency. That's what American Medical Response is, the Ontario Fire Department, the Los Angeles Police Department, the Ontario Police Department. These demons are all sitting around focused on me. And that's helicopter activity in the background, okay? That's the reality of what's going on. And it is currently 9:49 p.m., and I remain the center of the universe, the center focus of what are the demon possessed. These are psychopaths in a helicopter having nothing important to do. What is important? Surveillance is important. That's all that the government in the state of California is doing. That is a 24-hour focus. And there is nothing else that is superseding that. It's not going to work. It's not making a paycheck. It's not tending to your newborn babies. That's why these demons are engaging in all of the above while the criminal elements of monitoring are underway. They are demons engaging in what is state surveillance in plain sight. This is P.O.C. Okay, video captured at 10 p.m. of what I previously spoke to, which is what the state that is engaged in obsessive surveillance and stalking. And that is nothing less than that. This is why I was able to capture at 10 p.m. after the state engaged in an incessant crossing a path above me, pacing around in an aircraft, okay, a helicopter, which is indicative of state conduct. This is the state acting directly and doing so with simultaneity to what I do on the internet as I do it. The state coming in and out of what is audible perception via helicopter. Engaging in what is the real-time effort to obstruct my ability to merely view my website where my documentation is already published on the worldwide internet. That is what is interstate stalking, by the way, by the government that's engaged in monitoring with communication devices and doing so in concert with all of the demons in relevant position. These demons are not asleep. In 403 West G Street, Woodside Senior Apartments, at 408 West G Street, the demon of 630 North Fern, the demons of 621 North Fern, the demon of the property where I was standing showing you impossible light activity at 325 West G Street. They are monitoring with the state that is flying directly over my head in helicopter. There is nothing other than that ongoing consumption and obsession, because that's what stalking is born of. And this is also what is revealed by their very conduct that I am documenting. And this is obsessive stalking and monitoring, trying to obstruct justice, which is entirely pathetic, but it is exactly and it is precisely, all right, what I am describing it as. I'm not just telling you in the abstract and I don't have anything to back it up. I don't have any receipts. That's not the case. And you're talking about what is within a history of documentation. And not only that, this is the state that engaged in using helicopter as audible activity. Understand the significance of that. The fact that the state is the government is stalking, period, is terrorism. The government is stalking, okay? That is terrorizing, period. The government is engaging in what is revealing demon possession, not only by those government actors. In other words, a person flying in a circle over me while, first of all, let me get this, let me break this down. Flying in a circle, that's called pacing. That's demonic, okay? That is a psychopath that is engaging in this pacing conduct, but it's not just pacing alone. The entity engages in pacing in engineered light. This is moving around, pacing in engineered light while ongoing audible activity, which the helicopter also creates. The state engages in pacing back and forth, flying in a line back and forth, which is also pacing. Pacing is what is group stalking via helicopter. It's repeatedly crossing path. In other words, this demon that is flying back and forth and flying in circles over me, over this vehicle, is engaging in repeatedly crossing path. This is monitoring conduct by a demon, and the ongoing elements of monitoring are underway. Understand that. It is both the engagement in the criminal elements of monitoring. It is also the demonstration of demon possession, which is also terrorizing. While the entity engages in this conduct, and it is doing so not only to monitor me, but to do so in concert with everyone around. The reason why directed light is present, impossible light activity, in other words, on the wall of what is 325 West G Street, the reason why the state engages in creating ongoing Star Trek-like light activity inside of this vehicle, it's not only because it's a psychopath, all right, because you're dealing with Satan operating over a people who are engaged in obsessive stalking, all right, but it is because monitoring with communication devices by every single last person around that you see or do not see. They are in relevant position inside of all their venues. That ongoing environment remains present. That means the demons are all hiding inside of shelter. You saw the demons in the video that I captured at 10 p.m. They're driving by. That's called crossing path and directed light, over and over and over and over. That's what I captured on video. You're witnessing demonic activity. And this is what I captured on video. So what I spoke to the entity engaging and flying over me at 9:37, the second that I get on the internet and seek to access my website, the entity is so petrified. I mean, just very frightened. Okay, very disturbed at the notion of me seeing the documentation that I already published online. Okay, so it's not just about me seeing it; everybody else in the world can see it too. But the government, let me be clear, Satan, and this is what I'm referring to because these are the demon possessed, and this is why I refer to them by their name. You're dealing with a spirit. Okay, you're looking at different faces in the natural, the same demonic entity, demon possessed people. Okay, and that's not an exaggeration, and this is really making it relative to what you are encountering every day, whether you know it or not, where the government is engaging in federal group stalking and monitoring, which it's the government outside of the jurisdiction of California, by the way. California is not only doing this, and so and which I have substantiated with evidence of what is criminal, but also understand what this criminal conduct is pointing to is demon possession. And that is relevant to everyday life as you are witnessing it. And that's what it's revealing. So I did capture this video at 10 p.m., just like I mentioned on my podcast, 9:37 p.m., the moment that I access my website. And this is what prompts the entity to sound helicopter activity. The state's not going anywhere. American Medical Response isn't going anywhere. American Medical Response is stalking me. American Medical Response is nothing but a method of presence, just like I was pointing out inside of the library earlier today. The City of Ontario, they represent a method, a form of presence by the state. The entirety of an entity is focused on me, engaging in ongoing surveillance. Okay, you're talking about all of Satan's minions are all paying attention to me and literally witnessing the deconstruction of their entire demented system and the revealing of what is no longer to be a secret. First of all, demonic activity, and second of all, surveillance in the United States. It is not far-fetched. It is not that which is beyond or beneath the government. No, to the contrary, direct evidence, that which is a matter of record and published for your own eyes to see, okay, and for your own ears to witness. And that's why you have a helicopter flying over me at 10 o'clock at night, and that's why you have what is absolutely impossible light activity. Let me point something out. On the 325 address, this venue right here, where you're looking at flashing light, as I pointed out, and you're looking at the shadow of the tree, the large tree, that's impossible light activity. Again, street lights are creating what is light that is going in a downward trajectory. It is not creating what is light that is going to necessarily be horizontal in trajectory in order to create what is the shadow of the tree enlarged on the wall of 325 West G Street, a venue. Second of all, what you see at the north upper corner of the 325 West G Street venues, you see orange flashing light. And I want to be clear, this is appearing on the venue is not at the street of G Street where those demon-possessed stalkers are crossing path on the street. Okay, so let me be clear. The venue is in the grass. It's behind the gate. It's right in front of me where I am still standing on Fern. It is not at what is the location of G Street. All right. So in other words, it is not in alignment with what is G Street. And also, you're also looking at the height. That is not headlights that are reaching up at that height on that apartment building, on that venue, Also, you're looking at that concentration of light that is not headlights, that is creating that concentrated light, that is flashing also, all right, where there is also no vehicle that is going to be in alignment with that edge of that building where those vehicles are driving on G Street. In addition, you have what is the engagement and the creation of that activity while you're looking at the state that just flew over me by helicopter. That is also indicating what it is that I am pointing out to you. That was directed light. All right, headlights are not engaging in that conduct in the same way that headlights are not creating Star Trek light activity inside of this vehicle. It is stalking with light in concert with the demons of the people of the state while they are stalking, group stalking by driving by. The entity is group stalking in a helicopter while directed light remains stationary. That's what you see with regard to what is the shadow of the tree, where street lamps are not. First of all, the street lamp is not even over the tree, okay? But let alone a street lamp being over the tree is not going to create a shadow upright on the wall of 325 West G Street. This is common sense I'm pointing out to you. Just answering questions that nobody seems to pose. Let me pose a question and give you the answer. That's impossible light activity. It's abnormal. It's directed light. That's engineered light. Okay, that's why the shadow of the tree is on the 325 West G Street, where there is no street lamp positioned over that tree, next to that tree. It's across the street on the opposite side of the street. And also that street lamp is pointing light which is downward, and it is not creating what is a shadow that is upright and on the wall of the 325 venue. In addition to that, you have what is that flashing light. And so that is light that is coinciding with the repeated crossing path of stalkers as you are literally looking at demonic activity. These are demons. And they're using vehicles to engage in stalking, group stalking. They are crossing path while the simultaneous creation of directed light, impossible light activity coexists with their crossing path, demonic activity. It's the same thing you're looking at that I show you during the day under the fake sun, which is this is directed light that is not sunlight, while you are looking at demons that are crossing path, and it is coexisting with what is directed light on the asphalt, on the sidewalk, up to the heights of buildings, all across my person, while they are driving by. Right? That's impossible light activity. It's revealing demon possession while federal stalking is underway, monitoring with communication devices. All right. And so anyway, I just want to point that out. That's impossible light activity and no headlights while those vehicles are in alignment with G Street as they are necessarily driving east and west is creating light at that vantage point, first of all, and nor at that distance, nor at that concentration. All right. And nor what was the flashing of light also. All right. All of this is directed light. I'm just pointing out common sense. And then the psychopath that is monitoring the documentation then coincides what is the then of the visible presence of a car, and that's supposed to be the explanation for what is directed light. That's what the entity did seconds later. Understand, it is impossible. You can put a vehicle there, right, and create that directed light on the wall. It's separate. You're looking at a group stalker that's in crossing path with me, and this while the state is placing directed light on a surface next to me, and it's called stalking with light while stalking in the path. That's what that is, because those are not headlights that are ever going to result in that. All right, and so that's what's published in that video as well. That's called directed light, and that is the ongoing pattern as well. That's also showing what is consistent with regard to what I've documented, and directed light is also consistent with what I've documented, the state stalking me by helicopter. All right, aside from the common sense that I just broke down for you, this is the pattern that is consistent with what I have continuously shown you. The people of the state who are demon possessed, who are group stalking, coexisting with what is this impossible light activity, abnormal light, literally impossible. And not only is that conduct indicative of what is group stalking, it's also revealing what is a venue, and it is also revealing what is the absence of any exception to prosecution. You can literally look at the venue, identify the address, and prosecute whatever demon lives there, whoever is there, whoever it belongs to. You're talking about what is present on behalf of the government. It's occurring on that venue, not because that person is accepted from the pattern of conduct because they're ignorant, or whether they are currently out of state, say they're in some other state at the moment where you're being subject to surveillance at their home. I just want to be clear, there is no exception. All right, and you're going to prosecute the government, and you're going to prosecute the government by also breaking down its system of prosecuting the people who are doing it in concert with that government. And these are literally goofy looking demons now as you look at their peculiar conduct. They look very goofy, and goofy not in a funny way, goofy in a psychotic way. Okay, because this is the freaks that you're dealing with. They're out of their minds, they're unbalanced, and then they're showing hostility as you reveal the fact that they are demon possessed psychopaths and violent sex offenders who are indeed stalking you and doing it with the government. All right, it's 10:39 p.m. and I did capture that video. The timestamp is 22:00:40, which is 10 p.m. and 40 seconds on January 10, 2022. I will publish that onto YouTube, which the entity is engaging in just trying to slow down internet. It's the feudalistic efforts of a defeated entity whose secrets are no more and whose prosecution is sure. Anyway, it's 10:40 p.m. and that is P.O.C. And so this will be 7FGG496, 7HSX 293. It is Tuesday, January 11th, 2021. It's 9:47 a.m. AV11U93 paper 5WBR 803 0955 3C1 6KZM 974 13653A3. This is P.O.C. Alrighty, showing video of the state's fixed sun moving in real time as the vehicle moves, turning at the angles, at the streets, at the same location and moment that the vehicle does. And also I'm showing you what is the state's fixed sun that is not remaining over 630 North Fern, contrary to what I'm showing you as I remain at after 10 a.m. After 10:30 a.m., 10:13 a.m., 10:05 a.m., very specific, precise times. As I showed you just the other day, the state's fake sun remains at that 630 North Fern, and I show you at 10 o'clock in the morning as she then drives to Rite Aid, which is driving north on Fern Avenue, driving west onto G Street and entering in that parking lot. Remember that video, the state's fake sun is no way in that position as it is going to what is remaining over me, driving what is south on Euclid Avenue and then east on Hope Boulevard, and this is at 9:47 in the morning, and that is showing what is stalking with light and not the sun. That is departing from what would be the actual sun remaining over that street, over that location of 630 North Front. That's the ongoing consistent analysis. And this is just speaking to what is an ongoing ceaseless criminal system of what is state surveillance and all the ways that you are witnessing the government is engaging in surveillance with the people of the state, whose entire focus is not what is under the guise of free society, as I've shown you. And so you're talking about what is the presence of a fake sun that is over them and revealing that. And you're also witnessing what's demonic activity. And this demon possession that is in operation over a government that inspires what is stalking by a helicopter at 10 o'clock at night, inspires what is demonic use of light on buildings and onto my person and wherever it is that I am, including inside of this vehicle, while all of an entity is stalking me inside of this vehicle. That is what is the center focus, and it is not on some job. In other words, the video that you see of Omnitrans stalking in the path, because that's what it is under a fake sun, on bus 1218 as I'm entering the B&G Plaza in the vehicle, and the fake sun is moving in real time. This is Omnitrans that you are witnessing engaging in stalking, and is entirely focused on me, as opposed to what is the operation of a bus line, which you would assume is the focus, and that is not the focus. The state of California is engaging in what is state surveillance, and it is occurring, it is existing under what is the audacious guise of free society and operations of business, and it's not. That is called state surveillance under the name of Omnitrans and facilitated by minions such as Tracy Banks. That's why the fake sun is over me in her car. That's why the state is aiming directed light while I'm in her car, stalking over me by helicopter when I am in her car. And that's why she is monitoring as well. She does not even care about me actually wearing a mask. That's audible activity while directed light and a fake sun is over my head. All right, and the minion she's monitoring with, let me show you this license plate, 7KBB049 into Shiro's Liquor. Shiro's Liquor is inside of B&G Plaza while she's out here yelling. That's audible activity by a psychopath. That's P.O.C. All right, it is currently 9:52 a.m. All right, and Tracy Banks' license plate again, 4WON432. While you hear her speaking, put your mask on. She is creating audible activity while directed light flashes inside of the entrance. This overweight minion, she's got on blue jeans, black and white tennis shoes. She's rushing to her vehicle. That's a means of crossing path under the fake sun. Directed light, engineered light is on the ground in between license plate 6 and PW544, the store owner, and this minion who's using her truck as a means of stalking in the path. Her license is 22103P1. 8NXU261. This one's sitting in their vehicle as well, stalking in relevant position in the parking lot. 4CYC138. 7YWR584. 7SQZ406, 8MBY766, 8UFD236, 5SKJ051, 6PSX675, 8U14659, 7HYF074, 8CVL463, 7JLV382, 5PLZ706, 8TLJ475, 8FED335. And it's currently 9:55 a.m. These are license plates of third parties that are parked inside of B&G Plaza, where I just showed you the state's fake sun remains over the venue. And this is, again, you can go back days ago. Like I said, this documentation is already in existence. I've already shown what is stalking with the light source. I have been providing ongoing vivid illustrations of what is direct evidence, also holding it to the standard of what would be the actual sun. And again, if that was the actual sun over the vehicle at 630 North Fern, remaining until 10 o'clock in the morning, and then I show you what is, which also you already know because I've shown you the state's fake sun over that street earlier in the morning, 8:49 a.m., and it's still present at 10 o'clock, 10:05 a.m., 10:30 a.m., 10:13 a.m., whatever moment that I happened to capture video. I showed you on the first, it remained over 630 North Fern, that street, that vehicle that I was inside of, for the duration of the day until after 4 p.m. So yes, you already know this is not the sun. I am showing you every vantage point. There is no argument as to what the state of California is doing and what is wrong with the state. This is demonic activity, and it is demonic possession by the people of the state who are engaging in what is demonic conduct of showing of what is a demonic obsession, stalking. And they're doing so because they are monitoring. This is surveillance by the demon possessed, and it's in violation of Title 18. Okay. So this is while you have the state's fake sun remaining over me at 10 a.m. in the morning, as I showed you just days ago. And then she's going to Rite Aid. The state's fake sun is captured in video while I'm on Euclid, turning onto Holt Boulevard, arriving at the B&G Plaza. And it's not even in the direction of 630 North Fern. Okay. It's not even in that direction. In order for me to be in the vehicle facing south on Euclid, going east, as you see the state's fake sun moving in real time, all of these minions are monitoring with Union Pacific, which is amplified audible activity, while the entity is listening to me document and prosecute it on a podcast. 8WIH333. And you're also understanding what is the demonic formula. That amplified audible activity is occurring under a fake sun and engineered light. That is P.O.C, what you're listening to. 8FEK468, 8LQT966. 7JJM835, BU75T57 paper, 7JXT938, 8P12439, 5RDS532, 7XBN346, 6EQJ965, 5HWA167, 7DEX007, 8SFP020, 7CAX296, 8KHE446, 8RFX476, 8XBV126, 8VOZ709, Mommy and Me Nutritional Center, a third-party facilitating venue. They're stalking inside of that venue. 8FAJ408. They're also molesting with the stalker 7DEX007, whose license plate I read. They were sitting in their vehicle waiting to cross path and touch with directed light. All right, that's the conduct of the sex offender, the predator. 6PQZ175, waiting to touch while they're stalking. 8SHB159. That's also Satan in what is controlling a person. This is demon possession. Okay. 7Z EZ850 31299N2. But this is not suggesting that they're being compelled. You don't have a choice. You're just talking about what are animals. All right. The demon possessed are animals. 6HRC669, 8VKS181, 8AVC206, 6ZBR912, 8YTY104, 7GOT782, 6ZER714, 98430V2, 8ELB033, 5JMX969, 5WSB144, 99513D3, 8TGJ419, group stalking at Andy's Burgers. I've shown you the fake sun. I've shown you the directed light under that drive-through hood. They're not doing anything but stalking in the path. And like I said, this is state surveillance under the guise of free society. Like demons are concerned with anything else, they're not. They're stalking me. 8PZX344. 6WBF676, and that is showing what is Satan in operation over people on an obsessed level of stalking by an entire entity. 5ZEH225, UPS included, crossing path 33164C3. This demon on transit stalking with light, I'll get their license plate right now, CA09F38. And this one is license plate 6K34757. Let me show you something. All right, capturing United Airlines flying over me while I capture a demon stalking in the path, highlighting that demon's presence and the significance of it and the concerted action that that demon is engaging in. That demon is identified as a third party, acting with Brian's Automotive, acting with Andy's Burgers, acting with the demons in relevant position at that drive-thru, all under the fake sun and an engineered light, including Union Pacific. Okay, license 6WBF 676. They're all loitering. I'm showing you what is directed light, and I've already shown you what is directed light underneath and on the building of the Andy's Burgers, while demons are just lining up to engage in stalking. All right, and it is the absolute opposite of what demons would have you believe, that they're focused, they're trying to order a burger. In other words, they're doing it in what is an absolute cartoon environment. These are goofy looking demons when you break down the criminal and entirely demented conduct that they're actually engaged in. They are focused on me. They're stalking. All right, and that is irreducible evidence of what is under a fake sun and in directed light. While I am facing south, showing you center ice arena, that's not even in no way coexist. It is impossible to coexist being anywhere over the Ovid Family Community Library, 280 North Lemon Apartments, over 630 North Fern, where I showed you at 10 o'clock on the dot, which I used as an example right now, where I remain, and the state's fake sun remains over the vehicle while she moves from 630 North Fern and goes to the Rite Aid parking lot on G Street. All right, directed light while this demon, 6WBF 676, documenting themselves with Andy's Burger, a facilitating venue stalking in the path. 8PZX344 still loitering as well. 8VJJ816, Andy's Burgers, they're monitoring. 8YTY104 is pacing back and forth. Brian's Automotive is stalking in the path, creating audible activity. I showed you directed light inside of their garage. All right, on the same side that the fake sun was right in front of me. 8VJJ816. And while these demons move in the drive-thru, what happens? Directed light all over the wall space. This is how demons surround. License 8UEP962. This is a fat Latino with facial hair in operation of a communication device, while directed light spans all over the Andy's Burger on the side of the street that is on Plum. They're monitoring. 7MYD 050. Let's see. Yeah, that Latino male, 8UEP962. And this demon is license plate 8XBV126. Alrighty, capturing an image of what is state stalking. You see the fake sun over them while they're sitting in the drive-thru. It's called relevant positioning. It's called demonic activity as well. 2203882 is called direct evidence. A whole bunch of white men, they're demon possessed. Oh no, a white and a Latino. He's a fat face, pimple face critter in directed light under a fake sun sitting in the drive-thru of Andy's Burgers. 8DFD371, 6DDC560, 6EDX858, 3734TJ2, I believe. License 6DDC560. Yeah, I read that one. Alrighty, and that is third-party facilitating venue Andy's Burgers, which I've heavily documented before. And they are nothing but a facilitating venue, which is the case where the state's engaging in surveillance. You're talking about what is understanding and breaking down what is the antithesis of how California presents itself. It's not a vacation spot. 6T80322. All right, it is not for what is 1516113. That's the Ontario Fire Department that likes to stalk. And I've published more documentation seeing what is the criminal conduct, the engagement in surveillance under the name of Ontario Fire Department for LUY 103. And then those demons engage in stalking me where they know that I'm sleeping, showing the sex offenders and the demons that they are, and doing so while they're crossing path, group stalking under a fake sun during the day as well. Anyway, it's 10:06 a.m. And showing what is, again, the antithesis of what is free society and normalcy in the state of California. This is called state surveillance, and the entirety of the entity is not focused on ordering burgers or going to work to make their little $12 an hour working at Mommy and Me, or selling cell phones at the T-Mobile Plaza at Metro by T-Mobile. The reason why you know this is because of the unnatural environment, and this is an absolute concern with engaging in what is ceaseless surveillance by the government, and doing it in concert with the people of the state, literally driving by to maintain presence. This is not traffic. They're not concerned about going anywhere else. They're engaging in, and you also see this by what is the evidence literally provided to me, which is directed light. All right, not only is that not even sunlight, you're not even under a sun, and they are the goofy looking demon possessed stalkers that I have shown you that they are. All right, you're talking about showing psychopaths in their raw form, unadulterated direct evidence of terrorism and stalking by an entity. License 8NRY378, and they are intentionally crossing path to engage in stalking me. I am their focus. That's why there's a fake sun. 7DHM091. That's why there's directed light. 7AQW527. All right, that's why you have demons stalking with noise in that environment. All right, and that is showing what are demon possessions, and they're psychopaths, obsessed ones. 8WFH872, 8PDF023, 5MEF, 5, or I can't really see that one. Obsessed psychopaths, obsessed with the one. 7XAW350, who is not of demon possession, they're inferior. 42488K2, 6NQP319, 7DYW372, 7250840, and it's 10:08 a.m. 7RKJ581. 7AXD411, 3XHB700, 7SRD882, 84967W2, Suburban Propane, US.14685, substantially similar. License plate, N233GO, 7ACB862, 09425E2, Union Pacific crossing path, 6WBF676, now coming out of what is the drive-through of Andy's Burgers. Alrighty, and the states flying over by commercial airline plane. You saw United Airlines at 10 a.m. They're hovering over Center Ice Arena, 6WND231, as opposed to hovering over the Ontario Village or over 630 North Front. 42868V1 is Union Pacific, a demon pacing on the street with directed light, just making a U-turn in front of me. That's a demon that's pacing in engineered light while the state hovers in aircraft, with the rest of the minions that are patrolling going westbound on hold. 94755L1, 8UFU108, 8NTM996. And you saw what was United Airlines. That's what that demon represents, that company engaging in demonic activity, engaging in surveillance, which is the entire focus you need to understand of what not just Union Pacific, of what commercial actors in the state of California are engaging in, including what the Ontario airport is engaging in. That's why I captured the fake sun and directed light at the Ontario airport, a venue. License 5HWA167, stalking in the parking lot while directed light is all over, while Union Pacific is engaging in demonic pacing, and that is coexisting with what is directed light while they make a U-turn in the middle of the street. And again, they're listening to me identify them engaged in terrorism and surveillance. And so you'll have a demon that'll come and engage in more, which I'm gonna, okay, I'll prosecute you with that as well. I mean, you're talking about what are literally the futile acts of psychopaths. They're the demon possessed. License 85159Z1, Bird Tech Crossing Path. This is Omnitrans, license 1302446, bus number 1361, and molesting under that which is not even the sun, and that's also not sunlight. And it is currently 10:10 a.m. Bird Tech going westbound, by the way, and then Omnitrans paces and touches with directed light. Understand how Bird Tech, the B&G Plaza, the people of the state are all sex offenders together. That molestation is serving monitoring with communication devices. All right, and then you have what is a minion, looks about 4'10", with flower tights on a black purse, and then a light blue sweater and a gray beanie hat. Gets off the bus. 6631V2, I believe, substantially similar. And that minion is nothing but engaging in what is crossing path and is formed for what is Omnitrans crossing path. They're minions that are monitoring together. Omnitrans is engaging in state surveillance. 6WNX905, how are you engaging in the cooperatives of the government that's engaging in state surveillance? The company name, 7JQB753, and it's called Omnitrans. 8UXA851, 8KPP718. And you're also able to understand and witness demonic activity, and it's in no way based on some company name. The demon possessed are working for that company, operating that company, hiring other demons that engage in demonic activity on behalf of and in concert with that company, where surveillance is underway, which is entirely demonic. That's what Omnitrans represents. That's what the wealth of documentation demonstrates about Omnitrans, which Omnitrans did itself. I didn't have to make it up. Omnitrans did it, and I documented it. And not only am I going to publish it, it is a tutorial for understanding what is the government that is surveilling American citizens, and it's demonic. All right, even if you're outside of the state of California. It's currently 10:12 a.m. By the way, Walmart crossing path, just like FedEx is crossing path right now. All Town Transport Incorporated, non-emergency medical vehicle, crossing path using that vehicle to do so. Let me get this license plate. This is license 420XK. That's All Town Transport Incorporated. License 8VJJ816, 75632H1. I just wanted to get that license plate. It's crossing path in concert with Pepe's, with directed light, UPS with directed light. They're all a bunch of demons. All right, I have a very vivid documentation with regard to directed light, but commercial actors in particular, you've seen the demonic activity, the sexual violence, which is how these third parties that are literally called. They are literally referred to under a company name where they are doing nothing but surveilling American citizens. And I've shown you molestation with directed light by UPS, by FedEx, by Medline, by what is, I've already referenced Amazon Prime, but that is a very vivid illustration on more than one occasion. And also, it's also a molestation while those companies are engaging in surveillance on behalf of the state, with the state, while you're talking about not just that directed light, that vivid light that's occurring while you're driving by, okay? Like this is Star Trek. This is showing goofy looking demons that are engaged in admitting that they're stalking you. You're pathetic, and you're also shown to be a danger to the public while you engage in that terrorism, all right? So I have a wealth of that documentation, but I'm also talking about where the state is molesting and my shadow is surrounding all of my person, right? And then you'll have what is the engagement in state surveillance. That's what Amazon Prime is. They're surveilling American citizens, and they do it by identifying by company name and appearing as though to be focused on some operation of a business while they're creating and engaging and facilitating that environment and are present in that environment. You're present in that environment because you're a part of it, not because you are some innocent bystander. You are not us. I am subject to what is monitoring and revealing what is an absolutely abnormal environment. And that's why all the rest of the demons act like they don't notice it, they're oblivious to it, and also that they're oblivious to me while they're in it. Those are called psychopaths. That's a psychopath. And that is the operation of what is an unspoken system, which Satan doesn't have you don't have a choice anymore. Not only are you going to be forced to address your conditions, demon possession, you're a psychopath. Yes, you're a stalker. 7VXH065. You're also a very potent and real threat to the public by virtue of your condition and your criminal conduct and your audible activity, everything that they say and do showing unbalance. 8YSY878 showing how unbalanced they are, how disconnected they are from reality, and 7RZX701, 8CNK080, 7F60654, 8WBR672, 6JZL458, 7VHK175, 8YPF231, 8KXW230, 8UAZ810. All of them stalking with directed light, and this is the exact same entity stalking where it is that I sleep. The same exact entity engaged in an obsessive stalking where it is that I use the restroom, wherever it is that I'm physically indisposed, my genitalia is exposed. They engage in that stalking conduct as well. And I want to be clear, that's why you have what is directed light coexisting with, it doesn't matter whether that demon's in a commercial vehicle, it's the same entity. All right? That's the exact same conduct the entity is engaging in where it is that I sleep at night. They're stalkers. 6EMW623 and obsessed ones. Obsessed ones. 8DGG725. 96718S2. License 8XBV126 coming out of B&G Plaza, 4FVV440. San Bernardino County going west on Hall Boulevard, stalking, having nothing important to do. 8GLV429. Trans going westbound, which is nothing but crossing path Omnitrans is engaging in surveillance, and so surveillance operating under and doing so systematically under the guise of public transportation. They're engaging in surveillance, though, and stopping at limit and halt is a means of loitering in relevant position, engaging in ongoing surveillance with the rest of the minions who are patrolling, and they're acting in concert, right? And that's just the reality of what the entirety of an entity is doing. And it is pathetic because it doesn't have anything more important to do, contrary to what you would think, right? Contrary to what they would have you think as well. That's why you got emergency, paramedics, fire department, law enforcement, stalking. They don't have anything important to do. I am what they're doing. It's surveillance. 8ELB033, 6G33819, 7U. I can't really see that one. And that's entirely pathetic. But it is also necessary to reveal, and it's terrorism while they're obsessed with you, 33346C2. That obsession is not a compliment. That obsession is born of a condition, which is speaking to a threat that they pose to the public by virtue of their positions. I'm talking about law enforcement. I'm talking about those in the medical field. I'm talking about those in the fire department. All right, those in positions of government. 7FAS 739, 5Y05474, Frontier Communications 8X 70917, 6Z29. I can't really see that one. You can scratch that. So that is speaking to that threat. And then the people of the state, you're talking about what is very deeply embedded and broadly affecting demon possession of a people. And it doesn't matter what their zip code is. And this is what I'm telling you. It is a state system. It is not in only the city of Ontario, which I've shown. I've documented this in Orange County and Los Angeles County. And by virtue of that, by the way, I don't have to go to, for example, Madera County to show you what the government is doing. The ongoing occurrence, the pattern of what is absolutely impossible, i.e. directed light, the pattern of what is stalking with the fake sun, that is revealing what the state is doing. I just want to be clear. And like I said, I won't even go beyond the jurisdiction of the state of California, but it is revealing what the rest of the country is doing as well. And that's why I don't have to get on a plane and go to San Francisco. But let me be clear. If I did, the state would be keeping a fake sun over my head. License 8WWR030. I mean, and that's born of what is a demonic obsession, even as it reveals, would further confirm, that's not the setting you're clearly stalking. And that's what the state has been doing over and over and over again. Okay? That's what the state has already done. It's already provided that. It's already made that damning move over and over again. As I documented this criminal system. It is currently 10:21 a.m. License 6VFW615, 5ETH225, CA24H80 paper. ABM, license 73066H2. ABM is some company name. PayPace towing is crossing path again and touching and terrorizing with direct light again. 5DBR980. License 5YYZ874, 98316F3, 19181V1, 8BQR922. PEPE's Towing is nothing but a hole-in-the-wall little tow truck company. They're demons engaging in surveillance and stalking, including Ryder, who is crossing path again. 115024, substantially similar to out-of-state license plate. In the same directed light you saw them molesting me with under the fake sun while I stood beside what is Enrique's Insurance, where the fake sun was there, fake sun over me here, and riders reaching out toward me with directed light, demons that are obsessed and stalking me and engaging in an ongoing demonstration of an intent to sexually violate while they stalk as well and engage in surveillance with the government. 7UGM872, that's exactly what Ryder just did again, driving eastbound on Hope Boulevard at 10:22 a.m. License 8MNP434, BF6Z, I can't really see that one, what's paper plate? 70820V2, BEM, California 09773, substantially similar. It's a large white truck, directed light, the same demonic activity, same surveillance, a demon just hopping in a different type of vehicle to engage in presence on behalf of the state. You're understanding what our methods of form. They're doing nothing but just pacing back and forth. First of all, they're demons that are doing that. And second of all, it's the government that's maintaining ongoing presence. Just methods of form. One demon after another, after another, after another. That's all they're doing. And understand, traffic is just a means of patrolling. So are airplanes and helicopters. 7 FKF 343. Being inside of any venue in relevant position, they're monitoring as well while that activity is being created. It's 10:23 a.m. 8BCG 274 and City of Ontario, license 1580358. WDC 505. License 7F9989, substantially similar. 4H54369, 7CHM 499, I believe. Pep-A stolen cross the path again as you identify demons are pathetic. License 8NUJ537, 6FMS 585. And that is showing what is the focus. It's not on some business. That's surveillance under this name of a hole-in-the-wall business called Pepe's Towing. All right? That's P.O.C, and it's pathetic while they listen to me document. So in other words, as I say their name, then they engage in more and more of it. And what is it? That is what group stalking is. Crossing path. Being in the path. Maintenance in the path. That's what group stalking is. That's what demons do. They intend to surround you, maintain presence all around. In their weird light, while engaged in their weird activity creation. License 0117952, 8XDC 399. The Stereo City at Sultana and Hope Boulevard, they're monitoring while I'm being molested. That's activity creation for those demons in relevant position at that intersection. All right, understand that. So let me call that out. Got minions full in the parking lot in that venue. Monitoring. License 8MMZ 280, I believe. Can't really see it that clearly though. All right, license plate 7FGR847, 7UFN 575, 1491079. That's a police vehicle. License 8LVP 587, 6RLS 118, 7SGA 839, 8BXM 893, 7D 90757, 1485 307. That is license 7BSR548, 8URT053 or BURT053. License 5ZEH225. All right, in that police vehicle I stated, I did not say Ontario Police because it wasn't an Ontario Police vehicle, or at least I did not see Ontario Police. It just says police in large lettering, and the lettering was green, okay? Amtrak crossing path in a large coach, stalking in the path while directed light is molesting me. They're stalking in relevant position, driving on Plum and onto transit. Like you saw United Airlines doing, stalking, flying where I am at that back street on transit. Southwest Airlines is flying where I am under the fake sun. 8Y19522. 8FDB, 6, I can't see that one, you can that. 8837, I can't see that one either. 82427F3, that's Telecu, TELACU, and a white van. $5NTT230. It's 10:28 a.m. $8WYJ977, 5ZRT006, 7FQ, 8911-1390898, City of Ontario, 4PUJ754, 6XTA406-2431P2, I can't listen to that. 8VNK674, 5SOZ579, Ontario Police going westbound, 60072K1. Alrighty, and stalking at the light at Plum and Hope Boulevard at 10:29 a.m. on traffic cameras as well. License 5QF, 5CFU946 6U45505, 4BPY 589, can't let you down. 5SS, get scratched that. 8FNC 257 R86. I can't see that one either. 5LRY 841. It's 10:30 a.m. $6KLX158. 45770J1. Looks like 99177E3. 8RYW130. I have an old, crusty white man balding on the top of his head while he's stalking me with a communication device. Walking on the sidewalk. FedEx is crossing path from Plum, driving west on Holt. 8XTD281, I believe. Can't really see that one. Entering B&G Plaza right now at 10:31 a.m. on surveillance cameras. City of Ontario loitering at Metro 102 at the south corner of Plum and Holt, stalking in the path. License 5P17072. Omnitrans license 6NDG 425. That's not Omnitrans license. 8LSB. I can't really see that one. Omnitrans is license 1399983. Bus number 1269. Directed light swiping across the sidewalk while they cross path, molesting. And it is currently 10:32 a.m. The African American who you hear playing music, that's operation of a communication device, gets on the bus with a large afro of a black female. He gets on with a black beanie. He's carrying a white plastic bag. 42057C1 is crossing path on the camera surveillance for Omnitrans as well. CA19023 is crossing path as well. It's a paper plate on the cameras of Omnitrans. 5KSP615. 30977R2. They're all crossing path with Omnitrans and stalking with Omnitrans. License plate, and it's 10:32 a.m. Omnitrans is at right here in front of me, stalking at bus stops number 7909 at the B&G Plaza. XQV 946, rider going westbound also. City of Ontario, no longer loitering at Metro, now coming to what is B&G Plaza. License 7NYP104. License of City of Ontario is 1607590. License 8EXD138. I'm sorry, 22038A2. 8VXA570, and a paper plate is on the front of that vehicle. 7WVT476. 7CCB650. 5DLZ262. Capturing an image of what is that City of Ontario vehicle that I recited that license. That's called stalking in the path with light activity. It's demonic. License plate 8WGV898 56303W2, SoCal Edison. 8SVY287 8C78. I can't really see the rest of the one. 7DSM867. Alrighty, in the state's fixed sun that's remaining over the B&G Plaza, I just showed you while I'm at the Ovid Family Community Library. The state's fixed sun is over the 280 North Limit Apartments, and I show you that at approximately 10:13 in the morning. The state's fixed sun is not even in that direction. It is shown, as I showed you at 10 o'clock, it's over the Center Ice Arena while I'm on transit, moving as I move, no longer at the logo area of the B&G Plaza as she pulls up at Shiro's Liquor, remaining as United Airlines, as Southwest Airlines was flying over me, hovering, where the fixed sun is hovering over me, not over the 280 North Limit Apartments. 6ZK127, I believe. I can't listen to that one. 7HUZ199, 8VSL668. 8GDP710, 8A79771, 917YH handicap, 8VKS181, 5JMX969, 99513D3. 7VOV716, I believe. 7LNC165. 7GVK854. The paper plate BM60571, I believe. Can't really see it though. Fontana Towing going west on Holt Boulevard. It's a white tow truck with blue lettering. It says Fontana Towing. Commercial vehicle engaging in surveillance on behalf of the state. 6PJW671. Coca-Cola crossing path on Euclid Avenue. License plate 8GNT212, 7SJU940, 8MSE494, 7UZW355, I believe, 8961883, 75982F3, 5KRY219, 7XTD005, 6585, can't really see that one, 8BES664, 6RVC659. 10:37 a.m. (6DMF579). That's called amplified audible activity. 6PTJ904. 6RKA224. M1JOK or JK. I can't really see that one. 47792D1. License 8 NGM 633 6 TSA. I can't see that one. 7 HNP 464. Bus number 1362. That's Omnitrans, which is westbound at Lemon and Hull, crossing path and loitering at that bus stop across the street. Um, 8 LEU 962. 41154U2, 8FQR961, 5GGA 947, 92714B3. That's reliable. Environmental 8VKR660, 7MDU855, 8VPY074, 6948Y1, 7DNA 979. 9DA 878 or 818, that's Arizona. Six ZBP 008. 8 SED 700. 7 UMY 300, I believe. It's 10:40 a.m. This is a paper plate, I believe. BM26C10 on a black Mercedes, exiting B&G Plaza. And what you hear is a car horn. That car horn is audible activity at the same time that directed light appears underneath the bus hood of these minions that are sitting next to me while that black Mercedes with the paper plate crosses path. That's a simultaneous engagement in the criminal elements of monitoring. It's demonic activity, and that is showing the ongoing concerted action of demons who are monitoring with communication devices, by the way. That ongoing use of directed light and crossing path and loitering in the presence. F53. I can't really see the rest of it. 4LD 5326 is the back license plate. That's a large truck. D, it's towing going westbound at 10:42 a.m. A31773, 8S91629. 8 PUY 941 83365 into Ryder 16116E2 6SBA 695 6C, I can't really see that one, 7DDS 242 8WSM 877. United States Postal Service going westbound, 8F 8SFN. I can't really see the rest of them. These are demons just making noise as I move. Stalking with audible activity. That's what the demons do while the state fills the venue with directed light, stalking with noise all day while they're focused on me. That's all that they're doing. It's state surveillance. And it's goofy looking demons. License 8FVY. I can't really see that one. It ends with 058, but I can't really see the rest of that thing. Frontier Communications going westbound on Hall Boulevard now. XFW 914. CO93 J1. It's 10:44 a.m. License plate 8LSA 933. I'm sorry, BLSA 933. 09421T2. 8XDR 8VDR 545, I believe. 7GPX 664 6UV 5776. Ontario Fire Department. 1332549, I believe. Substantially similar. That's Ontario Fire, ETC GRG. They are stalking in the path just like every other demon with directed light on the ground under the fake sun. Doing the same thing at nightfall where they are stalking where I sleep. 6AWS051. License plate 7EXZ518. FedEx crossing path again, going north on Euclid Avenue, and it's currently 10:45 a.m. License plate 8JTH518. Six seven six 67683R2, I believe. Can't really see that one. That's a commercial vehicle. 8NMH769. License 8LRM184. 8BDG. I'm sorry, 8BGDV. You can scratch that. I can't see that. 84066Y2. 8J62559. 8SUG. 865. Let's see. 7BNM763. 6XXT474. This is a dark blue Acura license. 8EYP653. 8NBS337. 6AWX799. I'm sorry, 6AWX999. BV670. That's a handicap. BV670. City of Ontario crossing path again, just like I showed you on video, under the fake sun. It's 10:48 a.m. License 3SHX593, I believe. Can't really see the rest of that one. 8XDT281. It's 10:49 a.m. Let's see. That video that I just captured, by the way, at 10:45 a.m. License 8VRZ884. Sherwin-Williams going west on Hall Boulevard right now. That video that I captured of the state's fake sun is showing what was the fake sun over the 280 North Lemon Apartments. Not even in that direction. 8NEH244. And those are the circumstances under which an entity is engaging in surveillance. License 26807P2 7BSS 754 5YBE 9. I'm sorry, 5YBF 697. That's a demon creating audible activity. Okay, so 5YZ Z397 CA5. I can't see that one. That's a paper plate. BV01 613 8HET 029. License plate 7DSM 867 7LWB 484 8LJG 069. 7VOM 547, I believe. This is Tufesa, TUFESA, bus or coach number 340, touching with directed light. 9888 9U2. Another Tufesa, coach number 815, going westbound Tufesa International. They're like golden brown coaches. 38090A1, touching with those demons who are using coaches to stalk in the path and to touch with directed light. It's 10:52 a.m. And they're going eastbound on Hope Boulevard. And so you're understanding what is an entire focus of an entity while that environment remains present. It doesn't matter the commercial vehicle. 06071P1, you're understanding what is the focus of an entity, which is surveillance. And that's why that demonic environment is present. The demon possessed are engaging what is interstate stalking. They're monitoring with communication devices, maintaining that environment for that criminal purpose on behalf of the state, and not focused on operation of some business or making some delivery or delivering mail or delivering goods. 8PUV202, they're stalking in the path. And they're doing it in plain sight under what is the guise of supposed to be free, normal society. 8WKC 798. And it's currently 10:52 a.m. That's the state creating amplified plane activity. A.m. License plate 21218 B3. I can't really see that, but that's Chino Towing. Look, Chino's Towing, using their commercial vehicle to stalk in the path. The government's use of the people of the state engaging in state surveillance is implicating what is interstate stalking, while many of these businesses are engaged in interstate commerce while they are entering state lines to engage in the surveillance of another, which the government is systematically engaging in through the people of the state. And also it is relevant with regard to understanding how the government is engaging in surveillance amongst and in concert with the people, the way that you are framing legislation in order to confront that, to address that malicious system, which is also sexually violent. 8LVA018. 8YBS 864, I believe. 10:54 a.m. 6TXM 153. That was M as in Mary. I can't really see that one. 8TON 497. 8WQL 715. 7RFG 754. 8N45644. 8AVC 206. 3PHL 286. 85532P1. Tiger Electric. 8VCR 310, 6BKV 194, 83390B3, California 491447. License 8AJG087. License 31229N2, 31299N2, excuse me, 7KGE223. 7ZEZ850, 7UHG141. XP75349, 1 Corinthians Transport, engaging in demonic terrorism, monitoring American citizens. X400YZ, looks like a Utah plate. 6JPU628, BO36X10 paper. 8ZAX935. The same entity you saw at 10 p.m. flying over me by helicopter, flying over right now, while 5JNV722 crosses path. And 1 Corinthians 18, that truck, crossing paths, stalking, engaging in demonic terrorism, quoting scripture on their vehicles, all right? It doesn't matter what the venue calls itself, including if it calls itself a church, alrighty, or some pantry for giving out food to the homeless. It's state surveillance. 34049S2. And that was the state flying over Ontario Town Square, flying over the Ontario Fire Department, and flying over where I'm at, the B&G Plaza, amplifying the audible activity as you heard. At what is 10:57 a.m. The Sheriff's Department crossing path as well. They're monitoring to that helicopter activity coming from transit. Coming from Lemon. U.S.C. 7FF. I can't really see that one. License 1350803. That's the Sheriff's Department. Demon-possessed stalking surveillance. 8VHF 767. 7LIE 651. License 75632H1. License 82799 on that vehicle. 7HLX 159. Omnitrans going westbound at 10:58 a.m. 6EFP042. 7P52688. RWF 660, 6ACT096, 8PWR707, rider going westbound again, license plate, can't really see that license plate, EFC 613, another out-of-state license plate. It's white with blue colors on it, black lettering. FEU215, I believe. License 935530. Gateway. That's the name of the truck on the trailer. 7EVX 9025. I can't really see that one. Not on the trailer, on the door. It says Gateway. I didn't see the rest of it, but that is a large truck crossing path. 8SEY008. In operation of the communication devices, as all of them are while they're crossing path. 7NXM681. So in many ways, understand what you are witnessing, the non-difference, if you will. The state of California, at least, and the state of California is in the U.S., is not different from what are other third world countries where they're keeping their keeping citizens under the type of reality where you don't have any rights, where you don't have any privacy, you have very limited whatever it is that government says that you have. They don't have any expectation of that. I want to be clear, the U.S. is not different. This is the reality of what is going on in the U.S. And it's actually very disturbing. It's revealing what's a demonic system, and this demonic system is taking form in what's supposed to be contrasted to such third world countries, or like Russia, like I said. It's not different at all. The government in the U.S. has created a false expectation, a fallacy of having constitutional rights, 7ELZ163, while using the very people who incorporate that country to violate your rights and keep you under surveillance, in direct conflict with the very founding documents of this country. Right now, that's entirely malicious. That's nothing that you think of other than in the depths of hell. But you also are witnessing demonic activity while directed light and a fake sun stalking with light. Those are demons doing so. And I've also documented sentas molesting with directed light, crossing path 5206 3B1. Remember that was on December 8th, where the fake sun was over me at that intersection, and that same demon-possessed stalker bearing nothing but a company name, engaging in surveillance with the government, is crossing path right now. License 7XGD429 and Omnitrans approaching at 11:01 a.m. License 1545799 to molest. And I'll document this employee. P.O.C. All right, on the bus at 11:03 a.m. showing you the fake sun that remained while I remained at the B&G closet, nowhere over being in front of the entrance area of the Ovid Family Community Library. As I've engaged in that ongoing documentation revealing what is surveillance by state. This is again bus number 2345. And arriving and engaging in molestation. And I also took a picture right now showing what is the fake sun as I'm on the bus and it's in the window, and the state maintaining that presence on through the window of the bus that is now driving eastbound on Holt Boulevard at 11:03 a.m. This is P.O.C. and state surveillance in ceaseless operation. You have literally what is the obsessive stalking by those who are getting on and off the bus. It is the ongoing P.O.C. It is 11:03 a.m. 5 FPK 121 at what is campus and Holt Boulevard right now. It's like 4. I can't really see that one. Oh, this is a Nevada plate. It's like license plate 832 M14 8LWC 122. And it's 11:04. That's P.O.C. at Cardenas. That's where the bus stop is. Directed light on the bus, fake sun in the window. I documented Cardenas before, by the way. Engaging in what is harassment while the fake sun was over that venue. Southwest Airlines hovering over the Cardenas. All right, that's where we stopped. 4UQF 481. Sorry, that's 4UQF 381. 7VVY 349. 5MZX 803. I think I might have read that one already. Passing Allen Bonneview on Holt. Allen turns into Bonneview.
Okay, Monica Street.
Passing Verona and Holt Boulevard, approaching Grove, 8 VEP 019.
Grove Avenue. Stop requested.
5 KXC 366.
Please use rear doors.
Now, as these minions request stops or are at the bus stop waiting to get on, they're engaging in the they are engaging in what is the ceaseless operation of activity creation, all right, for purposes of monitoring. And there are demons that are doing that pursuant to knowledge of what I'm doing as I'm doing it, acting in concert with, for example, a bus driver who needs somebody to request to stop before, well, no, actually, these demons have engaged in literally stopping on the side of the road. But ordinarily, what's supposed to be the operation of some system, that's a figment of your imagination. It's just a bus driver stopping at a bus stop while a fake sun is over you, which you're ignorant of. Directed light is all around you, which you're ignorant of. And then you are understanding what is state surveillance in operation while demons surround, engaging in stalking you with an environment and stalking you with audible activity, monitoring you with communication devices on behalf of the government. License 4UQF381, yeah, loitering in relevant position. 80561H2. At Grove, and I showed you the state's fake sun at Grove and Holt. 8FMB 857. I can't really want to see that one. And it's currently 11:07 a.m. License 6VLD421. And in the background, they're just minions crossing path under the fake sun that remains in the window of the bus, directed light that remains on the bus, and also demons that stalk with activity, switching spots on the bus, making noise on the bus. It's the same demonic behavioral patterns. Psychopaths engaging with state surveillance. Goofy looking demons, showing them in their raw form. While the state keeps its fate night, Swift Transportation LLC, crossing path. And while the state's fake sun, as I showed you, remains at the B&G Plaza and now remains in the window of the bus as it is in transit to the city of Fontana. That is the departure from being anywhere present to be visible on video, contrary to what I captured yesterday at 1:58 p.m. Remember that. All right, it's an ongoing P.O.C. And I captured that yesterday where Sean Thrasher engaged in criminal summoning. And that is speaking to what is federal prison while the pattern of conduct is underway, and you are seeking to obstruct justice and threaten the liberty of the one whom you are placing under surveillance and sexually violating. That's why directed light is in your bathroom. You're a violent sex offender and a psychopath. Okay, you're talking about not having all your marbles, literally not operating in reality. You're documented and you're going to be prosecuted, and you threaten liberty with the entity. Understand, you're summoning the entity with whom you're monitoring. Law enforcement, who are demons. They're demons. That's a psychopath, okay? And the fake sun's nowhere near the entrance of the Ovid Family Community Library, which the sun is not going to remain over a single address anyway. But I'm just showing you what is that ongoing stalking with the fake sun pursuant to what is surveillance. So while the state follows me, 94573H2, the state is engaging in that ongoing demonstration of stalking and terrorism with the people of the state. And it's 11:10 a.m. Ontario Police, 157-653, vehicle 1017, that license plate substantially similar. It's vehicle number 1017 on the traffic cameras of Vineyard and Hall under the fake sun that's at this intersection of the Circle K at 1850 East Holt Boulevard. License 8SEV686. And also understand the conduct of demons while they listen to me prosecute, speaking to criminal summoning AAPY145. You have those demons engaging in visible presence. They're listening to every word that I'm saying. That's the conduct of the psychopath. That you are engaging in summoning while you're monitoring together with them. That's what criminal summoning is, and that's the grounds of federal prison. And Airport Drive. I've been referring to it as Airport Road, I believe. Airport Drive, I believe. Yeah, Airport Drive. Teleco, Transport, Walmart, crossing path, directed light in the shade on the driver's side, on the ground while they're stalking in the path, and the fake sun is on the passenger side through the window as I've shown you on video. This is license plate. Let's see, 94662H1. It's 94662H1 at the Ontario airport. The fake sun is over the bus while it's on the grounds of the airport. 8JCF 501 5XHA 731. 7MPD 424 7VLE 572. 8XVX 360. Stalking in the parking lot. Crossing path while the bus is in motion on the property. FO 776, offensive similar. 6YGK 410. 6WPH. I can't see the rest of them. Let's see. It's funny. Union Pacific is in the parking lot of the Ontario airport. Let's see. 7V. All right, I can't really see that one. I want to say 7YQY, but I can't see it. You scratch that. NFX 640. 7UO 3856. 72776F3. 6CHD 640. PROTKU. EC 918 handicap. 8PLT 250. These are those parked at Terminal 2 is where we're at. Heart, SILLA. 62657Z1. And it's currently 11:15 a.m. Fox rent-a-car crossing path. Fox rent-a-car is facilitating video is also on halt at the nearest intersection of the vineyard where I showed you the state's fake sun. Also, Fox rent-a-car is adjacent to where I was and across the street from the San Bernardino County building at 1647 Holt Boulevard, where I showed you on November 17th the state kept its fake sun over me while I was at that bus stop, and Omnitrans documented engaging in what is harassment while they know that I'm documenting them. The state's fake sun was right over my head. Fox rent-a-car is a facilitating venue on Holt Boulevard. So they are crossing path under the fake sun, which I have shown you in substantial video. Is moving over the property of the Ontario airport, keeping in the window of the bus. All right, Ontario airport doing this. I'm sorry, Ontario police doing the same. It is 11:16 a.m.
Avenue.
E38944 91535R2 1SXYO. Can't really see the rest of them. We're driving north on Archibald, where I've also shown you on video the state moves its fake sun north, keeping it over the bus, following street for street. I've shown you on video the state keeping its fake sun over while the bus then turns to drive east on Inland Empire. Street for street, the state's fake sun remains over. Frontier Communications, crossing path on Archibald. At the 10 Freeway Bridge, that's what we're on. Under a fake sun. Not remaining over the 280 North Lemon Apartments in alignment with the entrance of the Ovid Family Community Library. FedEx group stalking on Inland Empire inside of the inside of the facilitating venue off of Via Molinara. This community is, called Parkside. FedEx is stalking in the path. The City of Ontario is stalking in the path. And it's 11:18 a.m. Swift transportation crossing path at Haven and Inland Empire, as well as the City of Ontario group stalking on Inland Empire. That's the use of sirens. It's audible activity and directed light under a fake sun at Porsche and Inland Empire at 11:20 a.m. La Quinta Inn is monitoring. This is address 3602 on the opposite side of the street. All of these hotels and these restaurants and these law firms and the banks, Martinez and Associates, 3595-2, City National Bank. Their facilitating venue is 3633 Inland Empire Boulevard. Robert Half, Fifth Third Bank. That's why the state is remaining over me with a fake sun and directed light remaining around me, while the state is also using the means of sirens. That's Banner Bank, a facilitating venue. And you can look at a map because this is where the state is moving its fake sun. 4141, looks like CBRE and Pacific Lending. The Mathis Brothers, the CarMax, this shopping plaza where I've also been showing you the fake sun over me while I was at the Staples at what is the Sam's Club. The state's fake sun was directly over me. I documented this in addition to the Ontario Mills. This is in 2021.
Stop requested. If possible, please use earphones.
Si posible, favor usar la puerta trasera.
Passing Inland Empire and see where this cross street is. This is where the Ortho mattress is. The Remax. Yeah, this is the plaza where the Staples is. And the state's fake sun is right up remaining through the window of the bus. All right, and you are not, the actual sun is not both remaining, maintaining ubiquitous presence, by the way, as you are moving in real time, as you see the minions as they're going in the opposite direction, as you see while I remain at the B&G Plaza and the minions of Omnitrans and Ryder and the Ontario Police Department and the Sheriff's Department. The fake sun is not moving in real time through their windows. It's remaining over me while they are crossing path. And it is also not at the same time maintaining that ubiquitous presence while I'm in motion and then 24 hours later showing you what is the maintenance of that stationary presence at a particular address. All right, and so that is how you are also prosecuting an entire entity while you engage in that pattern of conduct, revealing how you operate. That's what the state is doing it under a fake sun, which is what the state of California is doing. And it also, again, like I said, this is Pacific Standard Time, because you want to engage in stalking and terrorism with a fake sun, which is relevant to Pacific Standard Time and what is not possibly the sun in any other state. by virtue of what is that one star, which is the sun, which is not hovering over you, and it's also not remaining over one city and one county, over one person, over one building, as my documentation shows, pursuant to Pacific Standard Time. License 8CAT599, I believe, or BCAT599 at Milliken and Inland Empire. It is 11:23 a.m. KWY 556 88 FedEx crossing path under the fake sun while we are at the Ontario Mills. 8 GNH 382
and RTA.
SGN 644. DGG 775. It's 11:25 a.m. JB Hunt crossing path. This is P.O.C. The state's fixed and is stationary over the bus at the Ontario Mills, and these minions are just patrolling all around. 5CNR 684 GRLD 786. DT5211 handicap, stalking in the parking lot. Where these venues are: Bone and Broth, Happy Day Spa, McDonald's. This is on the property of the Ontario Mills Mall. 8KBD or 8KDB 778. It's 11:28 a.m. 8TQK 928. 8YJS 658. 7MYM 272. 8LUG 222. RICSYL. Seven WWA 392, 6 TSB. All right, 64824D3 rather. Get that one instead.
4th Street.
Five TGS 306. G45OZO 6CO5342. Monitoring with the City of Ontario using another dumpster truck sitting in the parking lot, using creating light activity, and doing so while the bus is loitering at the bus stop. That's what City of Ontario and a dumpster truck is doing. They're monitoring together, and the big sun is over me. That's the municipality engaging in surveillance, and that's all that they're doing. Goofy looking demons, all right, showing the psychopaths and the stalking that they're engaging in, and doing so in dumpster trucks, in municipality vehicles, and consumed with nothing but what is stalking and surveillance in the position of the government, by the way. That's the municipality. FedEx crossing path on the property of Costco at 11800. We are on 4th Street. This is the one across from the Ontario Mills group stalking. License 7PBR034, I believe. I can't really see the rest of that one. The Ontario Fire Department crossing path in a paramedic's vehicle. Rancho Cucamonga Fire. Truck 17, stalking in the path where the bus is stopping at, what is this, Kaiser Way? We're on 4th Street. It's American Medical Response, the San Bernardino County Sheriff. License 1516304, another San Bernardino County Sheriff vehicle under the fake sign at Santa Anita. That's where we're at. And this is sad. This is called P.O.C. You can engage in creating a car accident, some service, and they're monitoring together. 7NME641, monitoring with having a neck brace on. They're under the fake sun, and there is no form. It's really, really pathetic. They go to extremes, and that's why those same actors engaged in kidnapping and keeping a fake sun and directed light over me inside of their safe facilitating venues. They're doing nothing but showing you how they operate. It is, by the way, 11:33 a.m. at that scene, which is the engagement of light activity, stalking in the path, and doing so in concert with the people of the state. Walmart crossing path and monitoring with law enforcement. That's what that is. That's the sheriff, American Medical Response, and Rancho Cucamonga Fire.
West Valley Detention Center.
Where the fake sun is moving along on the bus while we're passing the state facilitating venue of the West Valley Detention Center, where those deputies have multiple shadows inside of that venue, which is abnormal lights and possible light activity, and those minions in those vehicles stalking in the path, engaging in what is supposed to be the outward form of focusing on providing emergency services, and it is literally the form for demons to stalk, create light activity while they're engaged in surveillance together. And that is all that they are consumed with. That's why a fake sun, as I've already shown you in a wealth of documentation, is remaining on the bus over me while they are in the path, engaging in demonic activity together. Those are goofy looking demons, as you show what they are actually engaged in, having nothing more important to do. Surveillance is what they are doing, and that's surveillance under the name of Rancho Cucamonga Fire Department, surveillance under the name of American Medical Response, which you have seen. Directed light like it's Star Trek along the curb while they're stalking in the path in front of the vehicle, December 8th. Recall that documentation. And they're monitoring now, showing you that how they do it with the people of the state. It's 11:36 a.m. 1608.
Cherry Avenue.
G50250. That's SIA, S-A-I-A. That's a large truck. Directed light on the ground in the shade of the bus that's along the driver's side where I'm sitting. And the fake sun is on the passenger side. That is a commercial vehicle stalking in the path. Under the fake sun, stalking with directed light. 7 NLG 030. Cherry and San Bernardino Avenue. 8HQK 785. GS 159 handicap. 8M60019. The same minion that was group stalking, creating music using their operational communication device at bus stop 7909 just boarded the bus right now. Black beanie, African American male, engaging in surveillance with law enforcement. A demon-possessed stalker with the demon-possessed that are law enforcement monitoring together. Getting on the bus right here at Cherry and San Bernardino Avenue.
Redwood Street.
TPC 012. Beach Avenue and San Bernardino Avenue at 11:43 a.m. 6DOU 812. State's fake sun is moving in alignment with the bus. So as the bus is driving east, 8SYC 499, and then as the bus will then turn what is south onto Juniper, the state's fake sun will make that same turn at that same second at that same time. All right, and that is again not the sun as I showed you yesterday, contrary to what I showed you in video, that's remaining at the entrance area of the Ovid Family Community Library, aiming direct light into the entrance area of that venue, by the way, while it's moving in real time on San Bernardino Avenue in the city of Fontana, remaining over me as I then walk to the Fontana Lewis Library. I've already documented all this, and that's what the state is doing, and that's what the state is going to do, and it does not coexist with remaining over the entrance area of the Ovid Family Community Library in the city of Ontario. And as I showed you as I entered that venue, as I showed you during the 10 o'clock hour, Pacific Standard Time, and 1:50 p.m. Later that day, in order to document what's criminal summoning while the P.O.C. is underway. And understand that conduct, which is not the sun, is at which the Rancho Cucamonga American Medical Response and the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, including the people of the state, are stalking in the path. Whatever it is that they call themselves doing, providing emergency services, they're doing it while ongoing surveillance is ceaselessly underway, with knowledge of the fact that they're being documented, engaging in what is a pattern of kidnapping as well, and doing so under what is an impossible environment, and that is what is superseding what are the implausible and unpersuasive forms of demons who are engaging in nothing but surveillance. That's why a fake sun is over you while you're trying to focus on the provision of medical services to a third party, in direct light and under a fake sun. All right, that's what that reveals. And again, that was at Santa Anita and 4th Street. The state acting directly. T740H0.
Stop requested.
At Citrus and San Bernardino Avenue in Fontana.
Es imposible. Favor usar la puerta trasera.
It is currently 11:48 a.m. at San Bernardino and Oleander. And the state's fake sun remaining in the window while the bus continues on this street. No longer continue in that direction. Will engage in what is then going south on the specific street of Juniper while the bus turns onto that street. Okay, this is P.O.C. at Cypress and San Bernardino. 7JBD 247 at Cypress and San Bernardino at 11:48 a.m. It is 11:49 a.m. and as the bus then now is preparing to proceed onto Juniper, the state's fake sun no longer proceeding on San Bernardino Avenue, proceeds onto Juniper, where the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department 158399 is essentially similar, which is on camera of the Omnitrans bus as well. 8KAZ 806 at that corner, associated with those venues at that corner of Juniper and San Bernardino, where the Sheriff's Department is meeting to engage in crossing a path under that fake sun, which is exactly what they were doing at Santa Anita and 4th Street, by the way. Stalking. It's 11:50 a.m. 7U38869 6KIZ077 at the third-party facilitating venue Dino Papavero.
Stop requested. If possible, please use rear doors.
Sí, posible. Stop.
South Fontana Transit Center. Service by loss 1961 329. On the right, Victorville Valley Transit. And BB.
8HQP 905 5FLW 163. Those demons are patrolling in traffic. These demons are patrolling on and off the bus under the fake sun and directed light. This is at Marigold, the plaza anchored by El Super, 5T18787, 8JEH543, 8RKZ076, 8MZK710, 7RDW663. It's 11:52 a.m. Seven BJW761, 8WWL386. This is audible activity and directed light and patrolling their crossing path onto the bus. Nine 76222C2 7WLA 719. And it's 11:53 a.m. 8BTJ 410 5WVK 022 8789 683 7VUH 261. Security group stalking at KFC on Sierra Avenue while the fake sun is directly over the bus as it's driving north in Fontana. It's again 11:54 a.m. Six ELU 509 7XUX 601 7FWR 021 8YDW 979
Stop requested. If possible, please use rear doors.
Sí, posible. Stop.
creation of audible activity in directed light, by the way. Number 1314, crossing path at the Fontana Metrolink train station as they're approaching right now. Alright, showing the state's fake sun at arrival at the the Fontana Metrolink train station. And the state's fake sun, as you see in the window of the bus as she's driving on what is Orange Way from Sierra Avenue. And it remained in alignment with the bus the entire time. Excuse me. Can I get past you? Thank you. As it remains in alignment with the bus the entire time, where I'm documenting the state acting directly and vicariously. Thank you. Acting directly and vicariously, stalking in the path under what is a fake sun. So you're going to recall that, and also it's common sense. I'm documenting them in relevant position under what is impossible to be the sun. As I show you, as I arrive at the Fontana Metrolink train station, but they're engaging in that, and I'm talking about the Sheriff's Department, American. Can I help you? Huh? Anyway, this is license 1545799, bus 2345, driven by Omnitrans. That's the one that arrives at Beach Plaza, where I'm subject to monitoring with the state. And so what I point out in this video also, you're looking at what is street for street, just like I was speaking to, as I'm identifying the license plate of the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, of the Rancho Cucamonga Fire Department, of American Medical Response at the intersection of Santa Anita and 4th Street. You have what is the ongoing obsessive stalking by the City of Ontario. They are stalking street for street, corner by corner, going to whatever property, which is a facilitating venue, while the state, as I show you upon my arrival at the Fontana Metrolink train station, is keeping a fake sun over me through the window of the bus, place by place, in the same way that the entity is stalking place by place. And I've already demonstrated this. I'm just showing you the consistency of my documentation and the criminal conduct of stalking by government, the continuity of purpose, what is surveillance by the government. All right, and just as I stated, stalking in the path under a fake sun while appearing to be providing emergency services to a third party. All right, Route 61, that license plate, well, actually it's a different one, license 1545806, just 2258 crossing the path in Central. It's 12 p.m. and I just showed you the fake sun, that they are engaging in that conduct under the fake sun, molesting me while I'm on the bus, molesting while I'm not on the bus, stalking. Omnitrans is engaging in state surveillance under the name of a business such as Omnitrans 7UMA414. Route 14, directed light, bus 1314, license 1479379, 7GJY7118NZF034. And understand, as I capture that fake sun in the window of the bus, that's Metrolink, that's going westbound. That's a means of light activity. Relevant positioning, every minion on that train is stalking in the path as the fake sun is over me at the intersection and directed light is surrounding. All right, and that is Metrolink's engagement in that pattern of conduct. Metrolink is engaging in surveillance. That's how they do so. And arriving at this time in order to do so, by the way. Like I stated, 7M60698, 8RVZ594, 6CIJ694, excuse me. 8EZM 890, 8STB 096, 6VBL 569, 6VZE 558, 8457, 6V1, 7PKG 094, 8KYX 216, 38498F2, ELPANC1, 5TXG 856, 6UMF 882, 7HUF 984, 6YAC 843, 7JSV 322, 6NNS 312, 23667G3, I believe, 5SDD 156, 8UBU 989, 6VVD 697, 7G70 384, I believe. Can't really see the rest of them. So like I was stating, the impossibility of that being the sun while you're looking at what are demons who rely on the outward appearance while they're engaged in surveillance on behalf of the government, representing the government. And that's what the Rancho Cucamonga Fire Department was engaging in. They are demons engaging in surveillance under the name of Rancho Cucamonga Fire Department Truck 17, stalking in the path where the fake sun was right over me. All right, and you're understanding how a state engages in surveillance and their focus. They don't have anything important to do. What they're doing is surveillance, period. And they are focused on that. That is why they are doing so in such incredible manners with fire trucks, with the ambulance vehicles, and with San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department vehicles stalking, focused on me and engaging in what is light activity, using those vehicles to engage in that criminal conduct while they are stalking in the path, being the demons that they are in positions of government, showing what is the threat to the public, while they are both engaging in and commissioning criminal conduct and surveillance by the people of the state, all of them of that same condition while they are in that demonic environment together as one. This is San Bernardino County Fire Department under the fake sun. License plate 1471025. That use of a car alarm is the means of audible activity under the fake sun and indirected light. 7RXF698 97019A3 CV074 handicap. 7BCE 304. All right, Del Cid Transport, U.S. dot 2462399, MC 893706, California 0390402, GW 80.000. This is Del Cid. Del Cid is spelled DELCID Transport. It's associated with Lancaster, California. This is a Latino male driving this dark gray truck carrying a white trailer. It's got the number 700 on the front of it. He is stalking in the path under the fake sun and using a large truck to do so. And the license plate XP74129 U.S.C. 7ZID 022 8JFT 849 8WYX 362 8CTN 501 7JE 058. And it is currently 12:05 p.m. now. Alrighty, and if that was actually the sun that was over the Ovid Family Community Library, as I'm documenting the engagement in criminal summoning by Sean Thrasher, who has what is a fake sun over that venue, directed light throughout that venue, including inside of the private space of a bathroom, which is speaking to what is a sexually violent and criminal intent to engage in surveillance, including him. All right, in the grounds of that library filled with directed light as well. Understand you're talking about what is the pattern of conduct while you are summoning what is summoning upon the absolute violation of no law, by the way, but under no circumstances where you're documenting surveillance is some distraction from what the government is doing, which is surveilling you and sexually violating you. To supersede that, you're talking about what are psychopaths, the demon possessed, engaging in obstruction of justice, and that was a fake sun over that venue, while the criminal act of summoning by that entity that is a sex offender, 8XSJ623, and that's why that fake sun was over the Ovid Family Community Library, aiming directed light, not even sunlight, inside of the depths of that venue, as I've already documented as well. All right, and so you're talking about what is exclusive with regard to what, as I'm showing, the ongoing ubiquitous presence of a government engaging in surveillance through a people. Ovid is nothing but, Ovid Family Community Library is nothing but a sex offender, but it's nothing but a location where the government is maintaining presence, engaging in ongoing surveillance. And that's why that abnormal light, directed light, is present. 77646T2, 4VIN 773, 8LLZ 687, 8JPC 342, 8XLZ 363, 7STVO 76. And that is how I'm able to capture, by the way, a light source and not the actual sun over my head while I'm on the bus arriving in the city of Fontana after I showed you what is a state fake send in the city of Ontario, which is west of the city of Fontana. It is not it's not coexisting at the same time over my head in both cities at the same time. 7JVM 816, operational communication device 7MDR 154. And then also not only present as I walk into the, arrive at the library, remaining, as I show you on video at 1:50 p.m. 78079C3, 8XVX167, and that is the P.O.C. and its demonic activity. And like I said, you would think, and I'm being facetious, they don't have anything more important to do. AW48138, the fire department does not have anything more important to do. American Medical Response, the paramedics of the Ontario Fire Department, whatever city you want to fill in the blank with, does not have anything more important to do. What they are doing is surveillance. That's what they are designed to do. They're doing it under the guises of company names, of agencies of the entity, while surveillance is underway. All right, period. And you are understanding what is that impossible environment that is revealing the malice with which they do so. It is 12:07 p.m. And I'm going to Sierra Avenue, 8EMX 978, 8XUG 290, 6RDP 952, 8JNH 533, 90108U1, 8BPB 604, CA26H12, paper 6XMC 734, 13017T1, and it's 12:08 p.m. This is P.O.C. License 7CXW313, 8NES 847, 79512R2, 6LVJ 730, BF32G73, paper 8YDJ 468, 4FZU 888, 8GQM 463, 5NDA 753, Idaho 1A392LF, that's Idaho license plate, and 24G6053, that's a little scooter motorcycle thingy. 8YYN 227, AW60CO7, 8LJA 278, 7CG 976, 7NLR 739, 7NMN 227, 8SDP 261, PXJ 8559, Texas, 7NYP 839, 4ZPW 637, 6EVS 012, 5V29 480, 7ZPD 091, HADIYA, 7YGC 923, 7U 83534, 6CFB 087, I believe. Can't really see that one. 8EXR 455, BE70E60, that's paper. 8XVG 727, 8PXG 308, 7W1 2269, 5TWA 735, and no license plate. Those Latino males driving around in a Hyundai, an operational communication device covering up license plates. License 52048M2, 6UUH024, waiting for me to arrive. Gets out the car as I arrive at the corner. License 7MM B805, 8YHA343, 8GLN 795, Chico's Towing, That's the one with 5204 8M2. 8SHL982, 7ENP235, 8XSJ726, 8J82564, 76930X1. Water, Fontana Water Company, and while they're all touching the mini that stands next to me at the street light with their communication device monitoring to that, that's the sex offenders who are monitoring with me. And that's a black-faced, demon-possessed stalker engaging in surveillance with law enforcement. 8FOV653, 7KMZ555, 6TJM992. Fontana Water Company is license plate 7B28528. License 7 PPW144 8GSB095 49802G3 8SXX291 2HERCO 7KUH132 7JID452 6DOU812 04028U2 6DNV469 4ZJG415 MUE AT&T crossing path with license 8M12224 7S8 8UPN 649, and it's 12:13 p.m. 5 TRS 535. FedEx crossing path again, 5LTZ 611, 7REB 728, I believe. 7REB, yeah, 7REB 728. Excuse me. 8GED 177, 8DLR 110, 46280W1. Let's see. Yeah, I think I read that one. 7WBC 388. Amazon Prime crossing path into the fake sun. And the fake sun that's over me at Arrow Boulevard now and Sierra Avenue at 12:15 p.m. It's P.O.C. Directed light across Citibank while minions are at that venue, and at nightfall in the same directed light while they are stalking in that parking lot. Using the ATM as no form for demonic stalking and surveillance on behalf of the government. Citibank is the identification of the venue where they are present, stalking and monitoring with communication devices while directed light swipes across their venue. And while a fake sun is directly over me as I'm walking now on Arrow Boulevard. License 6RBC408, 7ZNMTN5, 8JSE410, 6ZYJ272, DFU887, all of them demons. 8RGF406, 13166Z1, 8FXZ298. All of them demons engaging in surveillance, state surveillance. Having nothing important to do. It's very, very pathetic. It's very sad, but it's very true. But for documentation, you wouldn't even believe it. Couldn't believe it. 55007V2. And it's 12:16 p.m. I'm in the parking lot of the Fontana Chamber of Commerce. Shared by the demons of the John Roberts Fire Station, state facilitating venue. 8PHL324, SCH354, 7V ZC538, 7MPR480, 6ZND170, 8LXL506, 8KUL227, 4XWJ821, 7WRT685, 24R8567, that's a motorcycle. 7ROK449, 7PGD489, 6DQK346, SuperiorService.net, license 70103D2, 4ZBE180, and it's 12:17 p.m. 8NCJ622, 8XXZ917, 7GTM406, 8YXS238, 8AJT885, 8BRS528, 8RUU592, 7REZ760, 5VUY464, 7FFW134, 6TWF278, 5TMG287, 7KVG213, 8GMC474, 8STR795, 8NBL007, 7ZZD053, 6ZAD713, 8URG, I believe, 8UHG411, and it's currently 12:18 p.m. All right, showing you what is stalking in the path. These are minions meeting at the entrance of the Fontana Lewis Library. And this minion, as I start using my camera, stalking in the path, 91990R2. That is the demon's focus of arriving visibly. That's called stalking with activity. And doing so under a fake sun. And it is 12:19 p.m. at the Fontana Lewis Library. I just want to document, this is P.O.C. at the Fontana Lewis Library posting up a sign, which is a method of obstruction of justice while they know that I'm here to document, and they're engaged in surveillance, as they've been documented engaging in. But I want to be clear, they put up a sign closing of the computer lab stating that they are, quote, short-staffed. And I want to be clear, they are not short-staffed with regard to what is maintaining group stalking presence in direct light and under a fake sun. It is a method of obstruction of justice while they know the exact documentation that they are surrounded by, and that follows me here and from this venue. That is what I was told right now upon my entrance at 12:21 p.m. That's the computer lab where the state aims directed light and keeps a fake sun, and those minions are documented engaging in that stalking conduct. All right, understand that's what's relevant, and that's what that is about. Alrighty, it is currently 12:21 p.m. at the circulation desk.
Were you checking out?
Checking out books? No, I just had a question.
What was your question?
Do you guys have a computer lab that is operational? Did you guys close down that one? Do you know why?
That's our coffee bar, our cafe lab. So all of the computers are operational. Any blue computer screen, either here in children's or upstairs, is available.
Yeah.
That one's just specifically you're able to have snacks and drinks in there, but it is closed until 2 today. We will reopen after 2.
Do you know why?
I think we're having a program in there.
You think you're having a problem in there?
A program.
Oh, a program in there?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not because you're
No,
low
so
on
we'll be closed
staff.
till 2.
Okay, got it. What's your name? Cynthia Delgado?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So you can use any of our blue screen computers.
Blue screen computers. I haven't been over here, so let me see. Those over there? Is there any other computers also?
Yes,
Are there any upstairs?
There's some to your right in children's and some upstairs in adults.
Okay, I haven't been up there in a long time. All right, thank you. Excuse me? All right, this is relevant positioning, and it is also placing me at a different location inside of the venue where the P.O.C. is remaining, okay? So I just want to point that out, and providing any sort of verbal explanation as to why they're closing down a computer lab is nothing but audible activity. And it is also speaking to what is more exposure while the pattern of conduct is underway. The engagement and the elements of monitoring is ceaseless, and it is also pursuant to what is knowledge of the fact that they're being documented. And so in that computer lab where you've seen that ongoing impossible light activity, understand the interest, and it does not change the existence in that documentation that's already been captured. All right, so I want to point that out, especially as I'm showing you the directed light that's inside of the computer lab and the depth of from what is facing Sierra and Spring, and then that directed light that's in the computer lab that is facing the Arrow Boulevard after I show you the fake sun that's directly above the entrance, as I showed just right now again upon my entrance. All right, so I just want to point that out. These are the interests, which is futile. You're talking about what is never going to occur anyway. That's directed light inside of the grounds, and also the ongoing acts of what is essentially harassment while you are monitoring documentation. And the fact that you've got directed light inside of your venue and you're engaged in surveillance in the bathroom, you're engaged in stalking with audible activity, which is terrorism, and then you're aware of the documentation that I've already captured inside of your venue. And that's what that is relevant to. I want to be clear. It is 12:26 p.m. This is P.O.C.